Hello and welcome to the Adventures of the Windswift. My usual crew is with me and, well, we're in a rather interesting situation. If you haven't watched last week's episode, I suggest you do. The conclusion to that revealed something rather terrifying. But to tell us more, Dice of Destiny says that the person who's going to do the review is me. All right, well, there we go. Number 2. I haven't two on the screen, so it's me today.
Do you remember what happened last time?
No, I don't. So that's
We're just going to have to play another game.
Yeah, we'll have to play another game. No,
now you know how we feel.
There we go. Now I know how you feel. Yeah, last week they did some stuff, missed a whole bunch of news. Last week saw the captains of the Windswift deeply entrenched within the Knaxa prison, where things started to go pear-shaped when all of the gnomes suddenly started to exhibit very strange tendencies, like projectile acid vomiting and other, rather curious things like scales. A rather reptilian kind of feature seemed to be exhibiting themselves amongst the gnomes. This precipitated a lockdown of the maximum security prison of Knaxa, which is where our captains were based. And of course, our captains fought valiantly to get to the engine room of the prison being run by a giant engine, the same as one would find inside of an airship. And once they got there, they defeated the gnomes, who were standing basking in the magic that was radiating out of the engine that was slowly powering down within Knaxa prison. And unfortunately, they happened to look inside that engine. And peering inside, they may or may not have seen a dragon on the other side of what to be a bit of a corridor inside that engine. That caused some mild concern and discomfort within some of the captains. So they repowered the engine, closed the door, and then legged it. They basically ran back to their ship as fast as they possibly could, jumped onto the Windswift, cast off, and Jorik picked up someone who may or may not know his sister. At least that's certainly what he claimed. And that got him a place aboard the evacuating Windswift. And the prison has been left to its own devices. The wardens, basically the Windswift crew handed over the prison once they had allowed all the inmates to escape, and said to the wardens, right, good luck, thanks so long, and cheers. So that's where our crew finds themselves, aboard the Windswift, just outside of Knaxa prison, which is currently in meltdown. And of course, there's that ever-present volcano just nearby, which is spewing out ash and dust. And I think that kind of brings us up everywhere. Did I miss out anything particular? I think...
no, just the wading through corpses. Other than that, no.
Yeah, details. But that's details that people can see. Last week's episode.
There you go. That's why you have last week's episode. Anyway, you've now been caught up if you've sort of forgotten what happened last week. And moving forward, yes. So you are on board the Windswift. All 4 of you, or 5 of you, are below decks, I suppose. This miserable climate. In this con, you're next to.
I'm at the con. Con is at the con.
Con is
I'm at the wheel,
right? Absolutely.
Keeping us at a sort of circling the facility at a distance where shooting at us would be impractical.
Right, so that's what you're doing. Adressai, where are you?
I don't know, I suppose we're sort of gathering somewhere to discuss things before we explode.
Yeah, probably the map room or the reader room.
Yeah.
This is true. Once I've established that Hashtahep has got us flying the way I want things, I'll probably go find my captains again.
I will keep us circling, sir. Do not worry, he says.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Very good.
All right, so Kat, are you going to join the map room conversation?
Yes, I'm going to do that.
All right, I assume, Blackstone, are you going to do the same? I believe you.
No, I'm with Jorik.
Prisons, yes.
And I am close to drawing my sword right now.
Oh dear, maybe I should go see what they're up to.
If they're definitely going somewhere, I think maybe we should follow them instead to sort of just have everybody in the same place.
There's going to be blood.
Don't fight.
All right,
We should
well,
talk about things.
Curiously enough, all of you head down to the drop deck, and there is, there's not a lot of space in this little 40-foot by 40-foot room leading to the actual cells themselves. But yes,
So he's coming with. Okay.
everyone is just sort of flocking down the stairs. Your prisoner doesn't offer any resistance. He has a certain swagger, though, that he's adopted as he's now aboard the vessel. And
I did order Lieutenant Ty to bring someone and take him to the brig, so I assume they're escorting him, and I'm mostly just following.
Not a problem. They kind of chuck him in the cell, and he very casually lounges back on the pallet and kind of puts his hands behind his head, smiling. He's a large, very well-built human, very pale skin, but he's covered in tattoos. Some of it is wording. It's all written in anyone who speaks Draconmorian. It's all written in Draconmorian. And there's pictures of skulls and snakes and vampires with stakes through their skulls and blood spraying everywhere.
Oh, I like this guy.
Generally, he's generally just a happy person, really. I
turn to Lieutenant Ty and say, under no circumstances is anyone to speak to him. Feed him, that's it.
Yes, sir. I assume you exclude the captains from that.
Well, yes, obviously.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Anyone.
Right. We don't have time for this. We have more pressing matters. Can we get to the ready room and see what we can do about this prison? We'll deal with this asshole later. And I will explain why he's here, but not in his presence.
Yes, I agree. He's not a priority right now.
No.
Yeah, you're not a priority right now.
That is probably what you say of your sister, too.
I grab Jarek by the shoulders and push him up the stairs.
Go.
Swang! No.
You still need the information.
Yes. But if he has no intention of giving it to me, you know.
But you can talk with that in D&D.
He doesn't nail his hand to the wall. That's apparently what we do here.
So what Blackston is doing, and he is waiting for a second, while the others kind of turn around and leave, perhaps. Anybody who would look at him from the front would see his jaws muscles tense up. And perhaps I would be wearing a gauntlet, so that wouldn't be happening. But the hand is at least on the sword. And he then would finally turn about and follow the captains.
All right.
Hey, that's my accent.
Boy, captain.
All right.
Captains.
You all arrive in the map room. Some a little more upset than others. But yes, absolutely. The ship is slowly doing a graceful curve around Knaxa prison.
Right. What are our priorities here right now? It feels like as much as I want to investigate what we just found out, it feels like the priority might just be back at the prison right now.
I
feel I need to explain my actions, but yes, the prison is the priority.
I would look at Saket and says, "You're a fire mage, right?"
So what do you want me to do here? Just flare the whole thing
Can
up?
you explode the volcano and bury the entire prison?
Isn't that a little extreme?
That is a little extreme. What about the warden? Are we
Wouldn't that solve the problem?
The warden is dead. I sensed it.
Okay.
These are people that the warden generally wants to keep alive for a reason. I mean, there's a reason we haven't...
Wait, hang on.
Killed them
We
all.
do have a slight problem with this plan.
You can't do it.
Adressai, I think we need to talk about the Shadow Man and the other man in the deepest, darkest dungeons.
Yeah, blowing this thing up might not do anything to them except let them loose.
Which I'm not sure if they were put in that jail before the time of the dragons. Am I correct? Is that
During
correct?
the time of the dragons, about
During the time.
500 or so years before they died. Or
Okay, so what do you want to
The
do?
prison is
Ask
not
them nicely
the
to
only...
go back into their cells?
They're already in their cells. So, I don't know.
No.
High security people are in the cells right now, but blowing up the prison might change that.
I don't want to
Also
blow it up.
stomping them
I want to
with
bury it in molten lava and fill them in.
How did the prisoners escape anyway? Last we saw them, the cells were all closed.
Yes, that's what I would like to know as well.
Anyone can give me an investigate check.
Blackstone would just shrug and say, what does it matter anyway? They're out. That's what really counts, is it?
19.
14.
And none of us let them out. I'm pretty
19
sure
as
about
well.
that.
How many gnomes were there?
6.
How many gnomes did you dispatch?
3.
5.
5?
Oh,
Five.
no.
Oh.
4 in the engine room.
And the one
Guys,
that
we're
Con
gonna
won.
have to
in
just
the
go back to
infirmary.
the prison.
Oh.
There were 2 that Con killed, weren't there?
No,
Yeah,
just
there was
one.
one.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That gnome did kill 2 guards, though.
We have a prisoner as well.
Yes.
Yes, I do not intend to keep him around. I
No,
apologize.
I
for my
mean
behavior.
I took a gnome prisoner. I tied a
Oh, you
muzzle
mean
around
that
it.
one?
Yeah. What did we do with that in the end? Still got it, as far as I know.
Yeah.
No one carried him out of the prison.
Did they not?
Yorick did it.
I was dragging it around by its ropes last
I
time.
know that. Wait. Remember.
Yes, what did we do with him?
No, I remember saying, like, it's not much of a problem. We can just carry him out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we had to fight our
And
way.
I think I remember that I said I just put him on my back, on my shoulder.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, but I'm not 100%. It's been a week.
Please
I
write in the
can't-
comments below what happened to the gnome.
It does ring bells. It does ring bells. All right, we'll let the dice decide. Yeah, you know
I mean,
what? You had him over your
Just by
shoulder.
intention, I wouldn't just leave him there. So it just
Yeah,
it doesn't make
I
sense
agree.
to just
I
like
agree.
leave.
All right, so we assume that he's now been thrown into the cell next to Carrickole.
Sure.
You came aboard, you handed the gnome over to Lieutenant
Right.
Tice, she put him down there. All right, absolutely. So yes, there we go.
Okay. But I think still the first thing that we need to figure out is what we don't want to do with
I
the
don't
person.
think
I'm
we
still
want to mess with that volcano. We could put the Vorgex anchor in danger.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not sure letting off a volcano is possibly the brightest thing I could do.
Well,
well, maybe it's the brightest.
It could be fun. It could be exciting to watch, and on an experimental level, it could have some.
Okay, so if we don't want to do this, what other ideas do we have?
Well, first of all, we should see if there were any other order vessels or I mean, there must be some kind of emergency.
I mean, I guess farmers.
Oh, yeah, true. This place isn't very well prepared for anything.
Okay, so the one thing that I know is where the maximum security prison is. So we can kind of tell Naxum is piloting our...
Yes.
Okay, so just basically hover next to it, and if they're moving, it was on the outside, the entrance, that's also something that was established. So then we'll just shoot them as soon as anybody gets close there. And I know there's a perfect guard guarding there right now, just waiting for somebody to come.
And we're sure the warden is dead.
Well, one of them's a
Yes.
shadow creature, right?
I sensed his death.
Well,
I'm not sure we can shoot that.
No. The prisoners, I am fairly certain, are still incarcerated right now.
Anyway,
The entire complex was separated from the low-sec security. So the only danger really is that somebody gets in there and lets them free, or due to no maintenance that something happens.
Well, presumably we should probably submit some sort of report that the Knaxa prison is
Right. I think that
Needs
should be done
taking.
immediately.
in trouble.
Okay. So
And maybe
why don't
we
we
can get
alert the order that there's a problem at the Mexican at the
Right. And maybe they have ideas. Maybe we get
Maybe
orders
they'll
from
just come
them.
and join us.
And then we should probably
Well-
address the big scaly dragon in the room.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think that is something we should report in right now. Does everybody
No.
agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we need to figure that out first.
Investigate that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say this is the problem that is bigger than one ship.
Mhm.
So then I would say we should one of us, well, two of us, because we always need to be in
Pairs.
kind of
Yes.
when we speak, should go to Lily and report in. Who's going to do that? Who's volunteering?
Okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, shit. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. They'll do it.
So who's going with? I can go with if you want.
There we
Sure.
go.
Well,
That's it. I don't want to miss this engine room thing.
No.
Look,
That's something we need to
Worry.
speak in
Yeah.
like everybody
Together.
about.
Let's
but I
report.
can go
Let's report the
back if
emergency.
To go.
And we might as well do it
So I
everybody.
have questions about the man. I mean, how long do humans normally live?
He's not
Wow.
human, but that doesn't.
800 years?
Unlikely to be human, clearly.
Yeah. So what is he?
Maybe an elf. I don't give a fuck.
Strange man.
Rescue the poor thing. He was
Let's
He
go
can
to
be a
Lily.
dragon in human form for all we know.
Yes, look, he's
I
not.
think rescuing it is probably a bad idea.
No,
Yes.
no. We do not mess with these prisoners.
No, we don't. But
No.
we
Someone
report
put it
in
down there
public
for a reason.
what the deacon has to say about it, right? And we might as well move everybody there because we're not going to go further with the two different people. So whatever. All right.
Everyone
Conference
clusters
time.
down the stairs. Everyone invades.
Can she not come to us?
She's
No, let's just go there.
Honestly, what's the point of being
Let's just do this.
captain if you can't summon your staff?
We're just doing this out of spite at this point. We're not supposed to be in their chambers, right?
right.
No, you walk.
Right. All right. So Lily comes forward and she reaches out her hands. Who will be the contact?
All right.
She touches your hands. Her eyes roll back, and suddenly her head comes forward. And
So since we did this the last time as well, my hand would just go on her shoulder, so I'm just like within the group call here.
yeah, absolutely.
The group call. Yeah.
It is really. It's
Yeah.
pretty remarkable technology. And for a moment, there's nothing, and then you kind of get a sense that you are no longer alone in the room. Sorry, I'm just. I need to increase the size of my screen here. It's on the other computer.
I'm pretty sure we're 5, 6 in the room, so I don't think they're
It's not a
alone.
surprise. He's just playing for time. Let him.
Less alone than normal.
Okay, right. Okay, fine. No, sorry, I just needed to find a name.
What species is Lily anyway?
She's
Lily's
human.
She's not. She's a human.
Yes.
Okay, no.
Correct.
Elderly
No
human.
more. No more piles of ash. That's good.
Don't remind me.
You asshole.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Did you?
If Blackstone ever cared about someone, it was her.
He got killed immediately.
And justice.
Just jabbed the shit out of that person.
Well, you know, undead.
Yeah.
This presence, this being is suddenly standing in front of you. And you haven't spoken to your new deacon, at least not recently anyway, the one who replaced the old one. But standing in front of you is this rather scruffy looking, very young looking.
Oh, it's a sniveling elf again.
Oh, yeah, what was his name?
Goblin.
Goblin.
Yes.
What happened to
God.
the elf?
Was it Dick and Hurus?
Budget cuts have really bitten in now.
Hero sounds familiar, yes.
Yeah, Hurus was the one we talked to. Just
Yeah, he was the one who sent us after Bandon.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm your new deacon. My name is Bork. And I'll be working with you. There's been a little bit of a reshuffle that's kind of happened. And so now I'm handling everything. I'm surprised you responded so quickly. We haven't even we barely just got the news in ourselves, so it's really useful that you're here. So
News about what exactly? What are you talking about? Responded?
you're not talking about the abduction of the Archon.
No, we're not. Do tell.
Oh no.
This is just what we
Strange.
needed right now. More shit. Come on, just pile it on.
I'm
Are
not
you
sure.
fucking serious?
Well, there was a note addressed specifically to you, so we assumed that you'd be involved somehow. Hopefully, you can shed some light on it.
Just
I'll read the
tell
note
me.
out for you, he says, and he kind of
Yes.
ruffles through some pockets until he finds this crumpled note. This is what the note says. I'll try and read it. It's very neat handwriting, I should say. Someone who's got very good pen.
Just get to the point.
Right, so here's the note. The note says, "To the most excellent crew of the Windswift, the Archon is my guest until such time as you see fit to return my son. I have no wish to harm him, but I also have no desire to see my son lost to me. So we're hoping you know who the son is, because we haven't
Yes, we know.
all right, so then it can...
How did this person get a hold of the Archon? For God's sakes.
Well,
Because it's a
looking into-
fisher, I don't know.
now it says here, the actions I take are as a last recourse and are not sanctioned by my government in the slightest. Return the boy to me and I'll release the Archon. So obviously we would like the Archon back very much. We really like him back right now.
Whoa. Are you saying that we should trade out this person who has been on an order ship to the Graith? Is that what you're saying?
He's abducted Archon Flunt. He's fairly important and kind of was the Archon who's completely in charge of most of the operations in the southern half of the planet. So
I just want this to be clear. You're telling us to do this trade.
Well, no,
Also,
not you.
to anger. No. Also, he is a spy who spied on the entire empire of the Sajet Empire.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely.
The Empire will not be pleased.
Yeah.
Strictly
No.
speaking, the interrelations of the mundane state entities are not our problem.
Right. Well, there you go. Absolutely. So getting our Archon back is much more important. But at the same time, we don't necessarily have to do the trade. There is such a thing as a deception because the last paragraph, he actually tells us where he is. So I wanted to inform you of what's happening.
Never that easy.
Well, he says here, meet me at the Broken Horn Tavern in Herby-Orfor.
So you're thinking, like, who are you anyway? Like, you think that the person who abducted the Archon will be easily fooled by us, and we have the resources to stop him from what he wants to do?
Well, since he's expecting you, I'd hope that when he sees you arriving, you could sort of do like
and that he was
dummy
going
trade.
to be him that we arrive when we're meeting, and not somebody else who then informs him that he like. How long are you with the Order?
I've been with the Order for about 5 years, but I was recently moved up the ranks now to Deacon. I've been handling fleet deployments for a long time. I'm really well versed in terms of dispatch and coordination.
Yes, administration. Yes, I get that.
Absolutely. So anyway, he said he's there, and he said, I've spent enough time entertaining the Archon. I'll be waiting. There's no signature or anything. So what I've done...
Yeah, we know what this is.
I thought that you probably engaged elsewhere. So I've dispatched the Bombathian, the Mountain Army, and
Ambassador Collier.
Who's Ambassador Collier?
It's a great ambassador of the Graith Empire.
Yeah, that's right. It was in your last report. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember that now. Oh, so he's an ambassador of the Graith Empire. Oh, that makes sense now as to why he said that he's acting on his own.
Just say you've dispatched ships.
Yeah, I dispatched 3 ships, the Bombathian, the Mantanami, and the Stockstoiva. They were close enough to Herby-Orfor because that's obviously the Tiefling Cabal territories. So I've dispatched those 3 to go and do some reconnaissance, low-key kind of stuff, infiltration, see what they can find out, so that they can give you information so that if you get there, you're better armed. But you don't think he's going to be there?
Look, there's another complication here that makes this even a little more difficult that I need to take up first. We're at the prison facility right now, Knaxa.
Yeah, right, Knaxa. Yeah.
And there's been a bit of an incident, and the entire low minimum security area has been overrun with prisoners, which was released.
And the warden is dead.
Yes, the warden is dead, and most likely all of the guards.
And there are no engineers anymore as well.
And the particular prison you want to do the exchange with, well, he's in the high security bit at the bottom of the prison.
Yes, so he might be difficult to get a hold of.
Oops.
So, we're going to need some troops here to retake this prison.
All right, hang on a moment. He turns around and he sort of does some hand gestures and things. You think he's
Can I let loose for a second? Everybody else is within the call right now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So then I would just basically shove everybody loose for a second, I guess, except for...
Yeah, I'm standing beside. I'm not involved in the group call.
All right.
I'm just listening to whatever everyone's saying.
Right. So once we're kind of not connected anymore, and I can speak in private at least, it's like we cannot let him loose. Like that's not possible.
No.
Like even if he's an important Archon, he knows what he's doing when he signed up for the Order, I think.
Sadly, this is true.
Do we agree with this?
I agree with your assessment.
Assessment? Yeah. Okay, good. I just wanted to check in before we speak with this.
Ordinarily, I would be all for rushing to the rescue of the Archon. But there's this whole other issue that has presented itself to us, which is kind of interposing itself on everything. That would be, what we saw in the engine.
Okay, so
Section 13.
I just wanted to see if everybody agrees on this matter before we continue speaking with the...
So, yes, I don't know how valuable the Archon is to us, personally.
Well, he's not our Archon anyways, right? So
No, he's not your Archon.
No.
Alright, so
That
then I kind of
I
nod
do
then.
consider the Graith to be a very grave threat to the future of the world. So perhaps this is an opportunity to do something about that.
Right.
Also, why does he want... If he's sending 3 ships to do reconnaissance, why don't have these 3 ships attacked? There's 3 ships. Why does Windswift have to do it?
Right.
Because
But
apparently
just
we have the other trade.
Element of surprise if we're going on the pretext of a deal, but if someone can kidnap an Archon, then they probably know we're coming and know what we're about.
Exactly.
And know that the
he
Hunkin...
knows us anyway, so...
I don't see the
Okay,
point here.
so go back to the call then.
All right, he kind of turns back. Okay, so I've dispatched the Yarko. They'll get to you in about 3 days, give or take. They're moving as fast as they can. They're just busy wrapping up something else on their side. So that's another 3 captains. Do you think between the 8 of you would be enough to retake the prison? I mean, I've got it on my registry here. There's not a lot of prisoners there. I think there's 78 of them. Is that right? He's busy holding files and things in his hands, which he's busy paging
It's
through.
probably closer to 30 now.
Looking. Well, if it's only 30 of them, you're highly trained. You can take them, can't you?
Yes, we can.
Probably, yes.
All right. So if you want to wait for the Yarko, she'll be there in
No,
about
we
3
don't.
days.
We don't have the time.
We
No, we
don't
don't.
have time to wait for 3 days.
We're good.
No,
The
there's
situation is
28
unfolding.
prisoners.
Is it 28?
Yes, according to a note I found in the library or the archives, but
Well, we didn't get much reporting back from the Knaxa prison very often.
no, that place is a hideous mess. You need to sort that place out. Seriously.
So here's
We lost our sight for several hours in there. It's not cool.
so what I propose here is we kill the inmates that escaped.
Mm-hmm.
If that is okay with the order, because they are inmates and they weren't killed for whatever reason. We don't know them.
Yeah, you have complete. If Knaxa's fallen, you've got complete mandate to do whatever you feel is necessary to re-secure the
Then
facility.
still dispatch the ship.
Yeah,
We leave a minimum crew here from our boat that then can get people. You can get people here to basically take over like administrative duties again.
yeah, absolutely.
Something else during the 3 days, because we cannot wait 3 days here.
And make sure they're competent people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely,
not-
100%. Captain Pugh of the Yarko, he's got almost 25 years of experience, so he'll know
So
exactly.
you don't need ship captains. You need to resupply the prison.
Oh, no, absolutely. Once you've secured it, absolutely, we'll dispatch it. Yeah, I mean, logistically, we'll handle all of that. Don't you have to worry about that? It's just about making sure the facility is safe and that no one escapes from it.
Right. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
All right.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, not from my side. So this Archon fellow, the Archon we've got to save, obviously, but
What was
like
the
I
name
said,
of this tavern again?
the tavern, it's the Broken Horn Tavern in Hechbjorkor. I can never pronounce that properly. Such a funny language tieflings speak, isn't it?
Yeah,
What
that's
is it?
the west coast of the Tiefling cabals, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Broken Horn.
Drum. I mean, I just don't want to get those two confused because the Broken Drum is a very different place from the Broken Horn.
Yeah, right. So this is
yes,
Broken Horn.
true.
I would say you have 3 ships with captains there already.
Well, they're on their way, yeah.
Yeah. We do not have the time.
All right. So they're just going to go into Hechbjorkor as if they're there just doing whatever it is that they would do as private captains. They're going to sort of snoop around, see what's going on with this Broken Horn type of thing, see if there is, a strange type of thing. You say Collier's Graith, so at least we know that now. So yes, that they'll do that, and then they'll come back to you, I suppose. He didn't indicate that he's going to do anything to the Archon. He's just holding him until you get his son back. I'm going to have to refer that higher up, though, in terms of how we're going to handle this. It's way beyond my kind of jurisdiction.
Ours too. The son is a spy. He has been on board an order ship. He has drugged order members in order to gain access to the ship. We cannot simply let him leave.
Yeah, all right, noted. I'll take that up
Thank
to the
you.
big boys.
He is a spy on the Pharaoh.
That too.
The Jet Empire himself.
Yeah, that's not such a concern for us. More the case that of course he's. How did he get onto your ship, by the way?
I gave the Sajet emissary my word he would never leave.
Look, I'll
got
put
onto
all
the-
of
we
that
got
in the
onto the ship
report at some
because he
point
drugged
later.
the chef.
I beg your pardon?
Good luck, and I let go, and I leave.
Yeah.
Go back to the. I'm still like
Look,
they're
I'll
still
write
involved, but I'm
you-
done with this.
I'll write you a report on the spy situation and I'll send it in later. I'll tell you everything. We're just a little bit busy right now.
Yeah, it is fairly urgent though. There's an Archon that's being held prisoner.
Yes, but the specific circumstances of how the ship, the spy got onto the ship is not specifically important right now. Right?
I think we may have lost the poor man anyway. I mean, he was stuck on the.
Yeah, all right. That is true. That is true. All right. Yeah, okay. So give me that report as soon as you can.
Yes.
And can I just personally say, Captain Adresai, that it is such a pleasure having you on board that vessel.
Because I'm the only person who ever writes reports.
Well, it's just the completeness of the reports that are coming through. I find that quite gratifying when I'm reading through them, and there's a certain attention to detail. Which
I always took a lot of pride. No, we don't have time for this. Okay.
right? Yeah, no,
Thank you,
all right,
but we don't have time.
Absolutely, Knaxa prison. Yeah. All right, thank you. Bye. And then he kind of
Bye.
turns around and he sort of scratches the back of his head. Then the
Feels so weird. Right.
What you doing?
What is happening to the order? Oh dear.
I think it might more be a case that we're now seeing more things that have been happening all along.
There is so much underhanded behind closed doors and under the table and pisses me off.
Okay, look, we need to get together in a private place and discuss how we want to approach the elephant
Yeah,
in the room.
Well, the dragon in the room. Rather.
Yes.
Ready room.
Yeah. Okay.
So we trot back to the ready room.
All right, everyone's back in the map room.
Okay. All right. Okay. Spells. Well, I might have picked up a few extra cantrips along the way after that little exciting time in there.
So,
Well, I've been practicing something that can get us through the door of the engine room, no matter what. But I can get the door open. The question is, I mean, this is a pretty big step. This is a pretty big decision either way. It feels like we're crossing a threshold metaphorically as well.
yes. Either way, our first priority is the prison. I
Right.
suppose. We need to sort the situation out, and we have full authority to do whatever is necessary, which means we could literally walk in there and kill every prisoner if we needed to.
That is what I will do.
This is not really our duty to clean up prison messes.
No.
I'm finding this whole situation very difficult at the moment, I must confess.
I think, what
Right,
do we
speak
want to
your
do
mind, Con.
about the engine situation?
Yes.
I think we need to talk about this most and foremost right now.
Yes.
As I see it, we have a few options here. We can take a look at what happens in Sector 13 and see what actually happens there, but I'm not yet quite ready to go there right away. I think speaking with the people from the Tetracon might be a more beneficial and less confronting way to go about it, as they are the guardians of knowledge and such, so maybe they don't know about the situation.
I find that hard to believe.
Yes.
That
But-
said, I want to know what's in our engine first, because what's said in that report in the prison was that there was a lot of odd materials brought into the prison. As far as I want to believe that that's the case, that they somehow opened the portal using the
Why wouldn't
power
we?
of the engine.
We are generally not allowed in there. What other reason could there be?
What
I
is
know,
the
no,
purpose
I
of it?
wanted. That's why we have to go make sure that this is what this is.
Well, what is its purpose? Because it's not providing power. I mean, you've had to
Maybe
feed.
it is.
Well, hang on. Remember, we had to feed MU into the engine to bring the power back online. The dragon wasn't, or the portal, or whatever the hell that was, wasn't supplying power to the engine or to the facility. We still had to fuel the engine with MUs to keep it going, remember?
Well,
Perhaps that is required to maintain the energy flow from the prison dimension. You never know how these things work.
Maybe-
I'm not an arcanist.
maybe it is even paying homage to the dragon, so he bestows the power on us.
Mm.
You're throwing in magic shit in that mouth of darkness.
Con,
We need
what
to
do
know
you
what our
actually-
own engine is doing.
Con, what do you actually know about the anchors? I mean, you're the resident druid.
What has that to do with anything?
I
It wasn't
just
Druid who rose them in the beginning, in the first place.
Well,
The order or the stones?
the
The
stones
stones.
themselves.
Well, I imagine as much as the rest of us know from our academy days.
Right, and the standard doctrine is that the anchors were placed there to prevent interdimensional travel, and that it is impossible to move between any 2 points using any form of dimensional travel. That's what the anchors do, is they lock it
Except the
down.
drow. Oh no, that's
Well,
not
the drow
dimensional.
use
That's not
different
dimensional, yes, but
technology.
why is it then forbidden to do dimensional travel if it's impossible? That boggles me.
I
Anyway,
mean, obviously it's not impossible. We just saw it.
yes.
Or there's
We
a
saw-
fucking dragon here, and then we have an even bigger problem.
We saw a window, not necessarily
Pretty
a door.
sure it's not
Are we
here,
sure
yes.
it's a window? Are we sure it's a portal? Are we sure there's not actually a dragon
Yes.
inside the engine?
From what
That's-
It would have to have been quite a small dragon. No, there was perspective, there was
Yeah,
distance,
maybe
there was an
dragon.
there was an entire vista of another realm through that portal opening.
There was
It wasn't here,
space.
it was somewhere
Well,
else.
was it another realm, or was it just at the fucking Tiefling Cabals, for instance?
It wasn't in the engine, I think is the point.
Yes.
All right. Either way, the whole we are forbidden to walk into the engine room is not. It's not punishable by death. It's a captain offense, if you will. It means that if one of the captains walks into the engine room, the other captains must decide on a judgment. So if we're going into the engine room here on the Windswift, I want us all 5 to agree to do this, because that means we're going against
The edict.
the written rules of the order, which is our jurisdiction. So we all have to agree that this is necessary to fulfill our mission.
Do we want to give the Jockenstokes a chance to redeem themselves?
Yes, that's something.
Before we march in there?
But I think that since this will always only happen once we cleared the situation below us, we can talk with them after we solve that situation.
So we attempt
All
to
right.
get Huntkin back, and may I put in a plug for, since we're throwing the rules out the window, getting our cook back as well, if possible.
Yes, please.
And then we deal with the engine room situation.
I feel like the first thing we should do is go and
Why are we
secure the
trying to get
administrative
Woodkin back?
wing.
Why are we going back to the prison at all then?
To secure the
To
prison, so
make
the
sure
prisoners
that
don't
no one
escape.
escapes.
That's the order's problem, not ours.
Well, we are
Is
the
it
order.
though?
prison
I mean,
guards.
we're here.
Our duty is to stop dragons from returning by
Well-
the agency of people, not round up prisoners.
I kind of think that the gnomes are up to trying to bring the dragons back. So I think going in there and sealing certain things down might be wise.
There's still,
Also-
there's still one of
Yeah.
the dragon gnomes about.
That was
Yeah, we
almost I gonna
definitely need
say.
to
There
stop
is
that
one left that is unaccounted for.
We kind of need to.
The gods know what damage he could do.
Yes.
But we
You have
will
a good
not
point.
go
Down there
out of
either
that
way.
facility.
You make a strong point. All right.
Strategically, I'd say first thing we should do is go in and try to secure the administrative wing.
No,
Yeah.
that's the super max, obviously.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
Yes,
by all
but we have
accounts,
to go
Supermax
through the
is
administrative wing to get anywhere anyway, and wouldn't it be good to just
No,
have
of
a space
boats.
and with
And
shielded
Supermax is
people?
separate. Supermax.
Supermax is isolated under these circumstances anyway. Without power or operations, you
Yes,
can't even get to it.
Didn't they tell Blackstone that the lift would stop working?
Correct.
Yeah,
And
but
there was
we-
no power.
Yes.
Is there no power?
Now there is
Restore
power.
Now there is
There
power.
is power.
Yes.
Okay, I think we might just go and check up on the prison quickly.
Yes. So priority 1,
28.
secure maximum security.
Yes.
Priority 2, locate the last gnome.
Yes.
Priority 3, restore order.
Well,
We'll see how 1 and 2 go.
Yes, but you know.
Okay, let's
and
do
con.
it.
This might get bloody.
Yes.
I only object to unnecessary killing.
He's a doctor. He's probably seen more blood than any of us.
That I would get my real
I'm
weapons.
not
this
a
time.
fantasist.
Yes, I will restock on arrows.
All right.
30 arrows.
We haven't got time for me to go into
And
a
get in my
trance, so
armor.
I'm going to just have to rely on some really cool cantrips, I think, 'cause I'm starting to run out of spells.
Oh, yes. This is actually an out-of-game meta question. If you level up, does that replenish your spells or anything?
It's a Diablo style.
Yeah. I don't know.
You have to
No, it
sleep
doesn't.
for 8 hours at least.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I wouldn't-
Yay, we're going in without abilities.
On the plus
Who
side, I
says
can now
without
turn into a
ability?
saber-toothed tiger. Oh, Guy, that's a
I can
point.
do 1 or 2 fancy tricks, but that's it.
Strictly by the rules, you have to have seen a creature before you can turn into it,
Right.
which kind of limits your sort of
Yes.
spontaneous
Hang on,
choice
how
of.
many saber-toothed tigers do you get to see in Braxton?
Well, I was thinking in Sanctuary, the
He's
realm
a
of the
druid.
druids, when
Yeah.
one is training to be a wild-shaped druid, one was possibly exposed to a variety of different beings in order to facilitate this. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think within reason, most of your lycanthropes, most natural creatures, certainly.
Yeah.
I don't have too much of a problem with that. And yes, there's a mountain range with snow on it, so you'd be fine.
So much for the blink cat, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that was a
I know,
complete
I know.
mistake. Annoyingly.
All right.
Anyway,
so
sorry.
you armor up, you suit up, you weapon
Suit up!
Roll out.
Boots on this time. I feel you need boots.
Yeah. Are there any boots that could fit me? I don't think I bought any.
I
I just find a pair and just gonna clonk out of the armory like I don't like this.
Is it like with the cat that is
Right.
Ah,
Weird walking.
I
Right.
don't want this.
Okay.
Let's get this over with quickly. Ah.
So you climb back up onto the deck, and there is that sulphurous smell is in the air. That sort of burnt pumice aroma is everywhere. The ashfall has started to increase again. You can see Knaxa was sort of almost mummified at the wheel. He's busy standing there. When you come up, he sort of looks to you for orders.
Bring us in.
Now, the important thing to remember about the prison is that there are 3 towers that you could potentially dock at. There is the main one that's got the dock specifically for the ship. And
So
there's-
what I tell him is I explain to him where the runway to the max security is, and he should get to that, and we'll just SEAL Team 6 down
Right,
on the side
okay.
of the boat.
Not even a
Also-
skiff. Wow, this is badass. Okay.
Also, they should.
This weather, you want to go in the skiff?
Yeah.
And also, I don't want anything that leave behind when we
Right.
get down
Well,
there.
The
Also, they
Windswift,
should. No, sorry.
Windswift is equipped with a lower landing bay if one sort of goes all the way down to the bottom deck, the drop deck, as it were. There's a hatch at the very back which will lower down, and you've got a 300-foot play that'll take you all the way down if you need to. So certainly that's what he will do. He makes his piloting check beautifully. Con, you're actually incredibly impressed because you can see the flappers.
Proud, even.
They're starting to sag
Yeah,
under
he
all
is.
of the ash. And you notice that what he's doing is every now and again he goes over to the flapper controls and he just sort of does this quite quickly, but in exact opposite union. So the ship doesn't ever rock as it normally would, but the flappers rock and it kind of brushes some of the dust off as he, pretty much. As he kind
The
of-
Windswift just like,
just does the sort of hummingbird, so to speak, keeping the flappers clear of the ash. But yes, eventually you get to the point where you think you're above the access to the long corridor anyway that leads through. There is an access on the not on the outside but on the inside in the that atrium area. So you all cluster down into that ramp. That
Before Before we go anywhere, I want to tell them to man both of the guns and shoot down anyone who looks like they're actually about to escape.
Lieutenant Ty nods. I understand.
Aside from us, obviously.
We have seen some individuals walking across the walkway between the three towers.
Shoot at anything that moves that doesn't look like us or the prison guards, yeah.
Right, you are.
Yes, we should have more than 28 shots, shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
They hit.
Absolutely.
Maybe our people are tailors. Who knows?
The cat nudges Jorik, and she's like, "Did you see that Hellman's thing? No vomit comet there."
Right. So you stand on the lift, as it were, and Mios stands next to the hand crank, and he slowly starts to lower you down.
Just a question before we leave, since we only have one gunner. Who in the crew would be best to put on the second ballista?
Lieutenant Ty will take that responsibility.
Okay, good.
She has had basic training on the ballista. She is familiar with its operation.
Good.
All right. Maybe the three new captains haven't seen this before, but for you guys as well. So everybody would see Blackston get like a helmet out of the bag that he's wearing. It looks like basically a full helmet with like a nose guard, I guess it's called, and like the cheeks kind of go close around the head, so they're just like two holes around the eye, basically, and then following the nose guard down.
It's like a barbuta or a
put it out,
Corinthian helmet?
Corinthian helmet.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they kind of put it on.
All right, you put it on.
This is entirely out of game, but yay!
Suit up.
Suit up.
Fuck yes.
All right, you put the helmet on, absolutely. And you step onto that platform. The platform starts slowing down. As the platform leaves the underside of the Windswift, there is a gut-wrenching jerk from the platform as it's blown sideways from the winds and the ashfall that's happening. It has a railing around it, so you kind of all can hold on to that as this basket swings wildly around in different areas. It was never designed to be operated in this kind of weather.
How high are we above the ground at this point?
Since no orders were given, Knaxa assumed that you wanted to go down relatively close, but also at a relative safe distance. So you're 150 foot above the surface.
At this point still?
At this
Natural
point.
20 on acrobatics.
I want an acrobatics from us.
Yeah, no, you don't need to make any acrobatics rolls. It's just that's how the basket is sort of moving around and twisting. And rocking.
Yeah, wasted a natural 20 there.
Yeah.
Well, you're very acrobatic.
Forming
yes.
You're standing in the middle of it, just sort of.
Right. I'm not even holding. Look, I'm not even holding onto the rope. All the railing.
Just like a chicken, right?
Everybody else is holding onto Jorik.
Eventually, however, the platform does touch down in this cloud of ash that has been accumulating since no one's been taking care of it. As you land, though, the roar of the wind and the distant rumbling of the volcano seems to be muffled now that you're between the walls and protected to a certain degree from that. From within the prison, however, you can hear the screaming. Every now and again, it's this burst of screaming, and then it kind of goes quiet. And then there's another burst of screaming, which sounds like it comes from a different person. And
right.
Quiet.
So Blackston we're still fairly close to the max sack at this point,
Correct.
Right?
You basically have a portal to enter, and then you're going left all the way down the corridor to that elevator shaft that goes down.
So I would want to see if Captain Benin, or however he was pronounced, is still Bentin, is still at his post.
All right, so you step into the corridor from outside. You place your hand on the portal, and of course, it does open up. It recognizes you, and
our hands, by the way, up.
They're not glowing. No, not at the moment. You step in, and again, that screaming is now coming from the west to your right, which you know to be the sort of the low security, the minimum security side of things. And as you sort of cluster and you start moving down that corridor towards that elevator shaft, and there isn't anyone standing at the top of it. There's no guards
So
standing.
Captain Bentini is not at his post where I told him he should.
Well, there's no one there, and you can see that the chains that held those battens, the one chain, there's a chunk of wall missing where it was attached, and it's kind of been ripped slightly along as someone was pulling that cable, trying to pull that cable out of the wall. But obviously they gave up after a while. The other one, the batten itself is missing, and just the hook of the cable is left there.
Okay,
Right. The elevator, as you look down the shaft. Remember, it was quite a long shaft.
Yes.
And right at the bottom, you can see light filtering through what must be the roof of that elevator.
Okay.
But there's a sound coming from the elevator. It's a stressed metal grating sound. And you realize, hang on a moment, that elevator hasn't gone all the way down to the bottom, but it certainly descended some distance, but it seems to have got stuck.
I look at Adrosai and say, you can make us slow, right?
Yeah.
I jump off the cliff.
He does, Blackston.
Yeah, not today, I can't, but in general, I can.
Then I'm dead.
I can cast it as a ritual.
Yes, after a rest. No, okay. I go, oh, just like the academy, and I jump after.
Oh no!
And then I cast Feather Fall on both of us.
Okay.
Carl, you have a rope?
It's more than one person. Like you can one cast.
Yeah.
It's more than. It's like
Yeah,
six.
it's
person,
like 7 people, I think.
6 or 7 people.
All right.
Yeah, so I just
Rope.
no up to 5. So it's
Yeah, we're
me
fine.
and
We're 5
Blackston
people.
now.
So do you shout this to the other 3 that they can feather fall as well?
I mean, that's something that probably would be.
Well, I sigh and get a long length of rope and tie it to something. We're going to need to be able to get back up again, you know.
Yes, give me the rope.
And
Yeah, I mean,
chuck it
once I
over.
cast it, it's
Oh.
It's like okay, whatever.
All
like I
right.
can't cast it on people who are standing still. Like you have to be in the air for
Right.
it to keep working.
Right.
So that's why I jumped after so that I could. I
Right.
can't cast it.
I find
right.
something to secure
I'm
the
not waiting
rope
to
to.
smack security up down there. Not making these people close. Not gonna happen.
Because you fall like for a couple of seconds and then just whoa.
Right.
And-
I mean, you can time it basically to make it like slow, like last second parachute kind of situation, right?
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
just like the academy.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you have enough
Yeah.
rope, right? That's why I'm not waiting.
Correct. So, Con, you secure the rope to one of those cables that the battens are secured to. You realize that cable is obviously deeply entrenched within the stonework and is not likely to get ripped much further. So you kind of tether the rope to that, and then Jorik, you sort of alight down the side of the wall to see how far the rope needs to go. Do you have rope as well, Jorik?
no.
All right. So
It's not something he carries.
So, Ked, you bought rope, didn't you?
Ah, yeah, I bought rope.
Yeah, because you bought rope when we were in the Sajet
I
city.
think I used it to tie up somebody, but I'm sure I've still got some left.
right. So
You got it back.
I need Jorik and Saket, please, to give me climbing checks. Give me acrobatics.
Wasn't it hundreds of feet down last
Oh,
time?
you're
Correct.
actually-
A natural
23.
All right, your 23 is fine. Not a problem. Rope gives you bonus anyway. Oh, it gives you advantage. wouldn't it?
9.
Anyway,
Advantage. It doesn't matter. It's still 23.
correct.
21 and 23. So,
Yeah.
good rolls.
All right, so
Thank
Saket,
you, roll
you
20.
get down to just above Jorik, and you can see that the elevator itself is probably still another 50 foot or so below you. Well, you'll find out now, Blackston, why that is. So you two have to tie your rope, Saket, to the existing rope and then continue down from that. Con, are you going to climb down eventually as well, I suppose? All right. So, Blackston, you are slowly descending now down to the roof of this elevator. And you can see that although originally the actual elevator shaft itself is easily 100 yards high, you've only gone down 100 foot to get to the surface of the top of the roof of this,
Right.
this elevator. And the reason why it's jammed, you can see, is that the one batten with a slight length of cable is jammed into the side of that elevator. And that's kind of just caused the whole thing to grind to a complete halt. If you were to remove that, you suspect the elevator would continue.
Right. I don't want to remove that right
down. Right.
So we land on top of this sort of...
Yes, you kind of land there. You can see sort of high above you, these other two are busy climbing.
Okay, so 2 questions. First question is the elevator kind of filling the entire shaft?
Yes,
or could you go down on the sides?
No, it's designed to act as a door. Correct.
Okay, so it's more or less, I mean, there's air going through, obviously, but other than that, it's basically impossible.
Correct.
It's a cork.
That very similar to...
And it can't go down because the air pressure kind of mounting underneath, so that doesn't work. But the other question then is it a solid top, or is there like a hatch to go in?
Right. So yes, there is a hatch at this side. Now you can see in the walls the same runes that are engraved into the Windswift hull to keep her aloft are engraved into the sides of the shaft, which allows the elevator to rise and power. Hence
open the shaft.
Power, right?
So open the.
All right, you open
I pull out my dagger to be ready, sort of.
Okay.
Giving back a slightly frustrated
reflex saving throw, please.
What's reflex?
Dexterity.
Sorry. Yes, dexterity saving throw. I was
21.
All right. So you open up the hatch, and as you do, this bolt of lightning just shoots upwards into the shaft and disappears immediately. The 3 of you busy climbing down. The next minute, the whole shaft lights up with this electric blue energy, and that
Whoa! Out to the side!
Gone as
It wasn't me!
Is there a ground, or is it just emptiness underneath?
No, inside.
If there's
You're going to jump in. All right. So inside, yes, you can see, well, basically you can see the bottom of the elevator. It's there.
Yeah, okay. So then I jump into the elevator.
You jump in. You can see Benteen standing there. He's got a cut across his head. And as he sees you, it's you. What?
I punch him in the face immediately.
He wasn't expecting that.
I'm sorry, he's in a bit of a mood today.
What would you do that for? We're on the same team. Ow.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
How was I supposed to know that you were going to come climbing in through my elevator roof? I mean, you could have...
Where are you going right now? And I kind of grab him and push him against the wall.
Ow! Oh, ew. Hang on a moment. All right, yeah. We were going down, but then someone jammed the elevator and we weren't sure if there were people waiting on top for us or not, so we thought better wait it out than...
Who was on top? Who jammed it?
No, they were on top before we started going down. Then they jumped off, obviously, before the elevator continued, and then the elevator stopped. So we weren't sure.
Wait a minute. So he's absolutely lying to me, right?
No,
he cannot tell the truth. You just said you cannot jump off the elevator further down.
No, you can't. No. As we saw the inmates coming towards us, and they attacked. So we retreated into the elevator. We started to descend. They jumped onto the roof of the elevator. Okay. So that's why we were aiming upwards. Then obviously they
were very close to dying there right now.
So yeah, no, absolutely. It's all very confusing.
How far up are we?
You've now got about 50 foot to go. Climbing
George
down.
jumps.
I don't let loose of him, and I just look at him and, why were you going down?
Because there was so many people. There were like 15 people in that corridor. Obviously, minimum security's gone. I don't know where the warden is. He's not responding. And of course, we cut off down here. No one came to tell us what was going on. Well, I mean, you said stay here, so we stayed here, and then they started there was just too many of them. I thought rather take the elevator.
Abandoning your post.
Well, rather take the elevator down than I die at the top of the elevator, and then they've got access to the elevator.
You said you could lock this elevator on the top.
Well, yes, but that didn't
Why didn't you do that?
Sense, because then I'd die. So I thought if I took the elevator down, it's the same as locking it. And
so what others are? You're still on top of the elevator. Like I am. Yeah. You see, Blackson is not happy with this dude.
Yeah, no. Blackston, we can deal with him later. It's all right. Look, we all know everybody in here is slightly incompetent anyway.
Guy?
I turn and I call up and I go, it's safe, it's all right.
All right.
Are you sure?
Crap. Jorek already jumped though when the lightning bolt flew past. 21 acrobatics.
To try and mitigate.
I hurt myself anyway.
Wow, okay.
50 feet you jump?
Yeah.
It's 5d6.
Yes, since the gods are with you so far. All right, you take 12 damage.
Ow.
Ow.
I rolled a whole bunch of ones. You're like,
Ow! What are you doing down here?
Why did you jump? I just smack him on the back of the head. Like, why did you do that?
There were lightning bolts flying past. What's going on?
Look, it's one of the guards. It's a bit jumpy. He's inside the elevator with Blackston. Could you please jump down there and make sure he doesn't kill him, man?
Blackston basically pushing him against the wall, right? Like up, lifting him up as well. And you see, like, he's this close to just scalping this dude.
Jorik, please go down there and make sure Blackston doesn't murder someone.
Yeah, Jorik gets up on his feet, knees, and jumps into the elevator.
all right. Saket, you're climbing down. Eventually, you'll get down. Con, you're busy climbing down. You're hearing this arguing going on from down. That's status quo, as a matter of fact. As you make your way down. All right.
Blackston's angry again.
Yes, me too, stay.
Still.
It's an ongoing rage. It'll be with us for a little while yet.
Blackston, what's going on?
All right.
Calm down. I put my hand on Blackston's shoulder. What's going on?
This person left his post and was going down to the maximum security guard, didn't secure the shaft, and he said there were already prisoners on top of this. Well, is it like a, what you would say this, like a room? Just elevator, right?
Elevator.
Yes, on top of this elevator. And he didn't think about locking it.
Well,
No, he's incompetent.
Or a spy like the others.
I'm not a
come
spy.
on.
It was more like a tactical retreat. We're allowed to do that sort of thing, aren't we? I mean, that's the thing.
A coward or a spy, either way.
Well, look, once the elevator's at the bottom of the shaft, it's not coming back up again unless we activate it. So it's really like locking it, just from a different position, that's all.
Did you consider the fact that the maximum security could be compromised, and by taking the elevator down, you could have provided the prisoners down there with the means to escape?
There's no way it's been compromised. It's absolutely secure.
Sure.
There's no fucking way that the prison inmates break from their fucking prison cells that your generous prison ward told us, who is now dead.
He's actually dead, is he?
Just slap him again across the face.
Ow,
because that's
all
not
right.
really the conversation we're having right now.
I don't think Jorik was the right person to send down to calm this down.
You're the only person except me.
It's like, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, slap him again.
Hit him harder. All right, so Andesai, are you going to climb inside? Are you joining the trackers?
I'm going to wait for the other two to actually get down
All right,
first.
so Saket then lights onto the roof next to you.
Oh
Eventually.
my god, I'm glowing from every pore.
Anyway, we got this incompetent bastard in here. Do we fulfill anything by
we
being
really
down
have to
here?
use
A more important thing.
All right.
Shut up!
Yes.
Look, we really should go down and make sure that place is secure, and then maybe we can go back up and deal with whatever up
As long
there.
as the elevator is not moving, they're not getting out.
Yes.
By taking the elevator down, we are adding risk. So no,
Yes.
we do not.
First we secure the prison, then we take a look. If
Yes.
at all.
And you come with us up.
You mean I just climbed all the way down this rope for nothing?
Yes, we're going back up.
Oh, for God's sake.
No.
And I just say, Con, can you loose the thing on the side there?
Can I what? Sorry?
So you see basically like a crowbar jammed into the side of the wall, connected with the elevator, right? Which kind of keeps the elevator from
Correct.
lowering.
Correct.
Won't that
What do you want me to do with it?
make it go down though?
Yes, can we change direction of this elevator on the way?
We can,
All right.
ma'am.
Good. Thank
I'm
you.
not sure I really want to climb back up the rope again.
No, just
I
just
don't
put
think they're
inside.
going to.
I'll grab it.
Yeah.
All right, so Con, you grabbing it? All right.
Once everyone's in position to get inside the elevator, I pull it out and jump down into the elevator.
All right. Pulling it out is it's a bit tricky, but you kind of wiggle it backwards and forwards, and as you pull it out, the elevator again starts to move down. You're very nervous, Benteen. Can I touch the panel?
Get us up.
All right. He touches the panel. The elevator stops. He touches the second panel. The elevator starts rising again.
This place really is way too nice to be staffed by incompetence.
Again, there's that word. I don't.
Shut up!
Don't
Haven't
make it
had-
worse right now.
First time
I said
I had a breakout.
You're lucky that we don't court-martial you here right on the spot.
He would, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have any doubt about that. Says as he sort of huddles in the corner. The elevator takes a few seconds, but eventually it comes to a stop, and that corridor is revealed again in front of you. At the very far end of the corridor, which leads into minimum security, you get this view of this little head. It must be a halfling or something, who's kind of looking around the corridor. As soon as the elevator comes to a stop, the head pulls back and
I
disappears.
immediately charge after him.
yeah.
All right.
Jorik after.
All right. So,
Right. I mean, you can react to the same
Bye.
situation in the second
Right.
that I do. It's not a problem.
so the two of you go rushing off.
Where
Con,
are they going now?
I don't know. They just ran after someone.
All right, well, best after them. Let's not get separated.
all right. Con goes running. Saket.
More physical exertion.
Come on,
Okay.
you're a captain.
Adrosai, keep your eye on that asshole.
Yeah.
What?
And come along.
Look, no, I'm gonna stick with Bentine for now. Look, can we shut this thing down? Can
Yes.
we
All right. Okay. I'll do it. All right. Fine. Just don't hit me again.
I'm not gonna hit you.
Right.
You don't want me to hit you. I have claws.
No.
That me
Right.
once. It was not.
There is this nice, sharp undertone to everything Adrosai says.
Yes. All right. I'm going to need an initiative check, please, from everybody. As-
Remember the aura +2.
So you're still with me, right? So I get it?
Yes.
Yes.
You get it.
I shouldn't.
No one else gets
Ooh,
for Blackstone.
22.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Let's see.
5.
All right,
14.
so we've got 14 for Con.
26.
Hit.
What?
Yeah.
Right.
Natural 20 on initiative.
Roll on 90, so you wasted a 20.
I'm wasting all of my good rolls in the beginning.
Adrosai, what was your score?
22.
22. Blackstone?
16.
16, and mine was you're that level, so that's that. All right, great. Jorik, you are sprinting ahead, eager to eviscerate somebody, and you come rushing around the corner, and you can see that the tunnel ahead would normally, on the left-hand side, it leads to the administration office and the infirmary and that kitchen area, and directly in front, of course, it leads through into the prison cells. And those barred doors, that sort of portcullis, if you like, that would protect the two areas, have been ripped out of the walls. Literally, you can see bits of masonry lying around. Something very strong just ripped them out.
What was it, George? No, what was it now?
Jeff.
Ready.
Freddy.
Freddy, yeah.
Right. So those have been ripped out, and standing just in front of that circular sort of that hole that's been made is again that little halfling, and all he does is he kind of does this little dance type of thing, and then grabs his crotch and pulls his tongue out at you and turns and starts running deeper into the room. But your initiative is better than his. He thought he had more time. So what are you doing?
Well, you others can see Jorik's bow flaming up in pink flames and twang!
Make your attack.
Wing. Manly.
Oh, wow, 10.
Well, you were
Yeah,
put
there
off,
it goes.
all right. You were put off by the fact that when he grabbed his crotch area, that his hand clearly was not big enough. Perhaps that, you're not sure. So the arrow just goes wide and in different directions.
You're just like,
kind of like,
whoa,
What the hell?
right?
Some kind of terrifying mutant.
Exactly. So your arrow goes wide, it disappears down into the darkness. Then
I curse under my breath and chase after him.
all right, so you're rushing after him. Blackson, you come around the corner, you see this arrow going wide and this little halfling about to start running.
Okay, so first question, which is super important here, depending on how much effort I put into this. Is he a halfling or a gnome?
He's a halfling.
So he's not a gnome.
Definitely a halfling. Yeah, you can see the big hairy feet, the blondish sort of hair, just kind of grime covered. He's definitely a prisoner as well.
Right, yes, but he's not the
No.
kind of person we are looking for.
Correct.
That's kind of what just said small person, could be a halfling. It's like, could be a
Right.
gnome.
Right. Yes, no, absolutely. Definitely.
Okay, so how far away is he from me?
He's about 35 foot away.
That's bad news. All right, I go over to him and kill him.
Whoa.
You catch up to him and just stab.
Okay, first attack crits.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Splat, more like.
So I
Yeah.
kill him.
Bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I rolled a 19 on the confirmation.
Wow. So that's pen triple damage. Yes. So he's probably, definitely, most likely, generally dead. Yes.
Just roll damage for the fun of it.
Okay.
Just let me hear the number.
Roll damage for the fun of it, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That's what we do. Okay.
Halfling jam.
So four times the damage, you said?
5.
3.
Five.
5. Whoa.
Pen triple.
Okay.
19.
Ow.
So it's 9 plus 5 plus 7. 15 is 22. 22 is 29. 29, 35.
Right.
Times 5.
No, that's...
No, that is 5 times.
That is. Okay.
Right. So absolutely, you
Ow.
slash into him and cut deep. And
All right, so what I do, since I use my halberd now, right, since I'm done with the sword for now, I just run him through. He just sits there still with his hand in his crotch, and he just sees me. His eyes go wide and just like,
Stab.
and just push him down onto the ground, leave it, and kind of pull the halberd out again. And I kind of look around and listen if there's anybody else. I'm looking for gnomes. Gnomes.
Right, specifically you're looking for gnomes. Absolutely. So that's what you're doing. You're looking for gnomes. Next up on the menu is that. So all of you that are in that corridor. So that's pretty much everyone except for you, Adressai, who is with Captain Benteen. So the other 4 of you again hear the screaming sound. And then you hear the sound. It's a very meaty kind of popping sound. That's the only way to describe it. And it sounds like an underwater popping sound as well. Con, you automatically know what that is. That is a shoulder being dislocated. And is obviously the source of the screaming. That's coming from the admin offices. From the actual cells themselves,
The cook.
There's sort of shouting and laughing and cheering going on from it sounds like the other side of the minimum security prison.
Sounds like Freddy's loose, if I were to have a guess.
It does sound like Freddy's having some fun.
Right.
We should probably deal with that.
Bless him.
Is
Right.
Freddy a bad guy or a good guy? I can't
Just a big
tell.
fucking
I think
weird.
he's
a
an
danger, I
amalgamation
would
of
say.
various
It
guys.
depends on if he's trying to pull your head out of its...
Sockets.
He's a
Right, so
greener.
what you can see, well, you can't see it, but Blackston and Jorik, you can see this. Is the halfling was trying to goad you to following him. And just down the corridor, well, it did kind of work, but it didn't work far enough. Because now you can see in the minimum security section, stepping out from behind one of the corners are 2 rather heavy-set looking, one's definitely a half-orc, the other one's a human, and they're armed with the, it looks like a broken chair leg or a broken pipe and something else. They're kind of stepping around the corner with that look of, well, where is he? He said he was going to bring them here. Oh, shit, they're still alive. Oh, okay, and they're going to step back again around that corner very quickly and quietly as best they can. So
Never
that's
bring
what
a chair leg to a Hastari fight.
Right,
To an angry Blackston fight.
right.
Don't bring anyone to a Blackston fight. No one should be there for that.
No.
So that is black. That's them. Con, what are you doing?
Well, I catch sight of the would be ambushes, and I guess I just keep going because I was running after Blackston anyway. So I guess I'm still running as I come around the corner, and he's skewering the halfling.
Correct. So you can carry on running.
I can maintain.
Are you
going
to
to
run as far as the corner that they've just stepped around?
Well, if I can, I guess. But,
yes, absolutely. You just double
move, though,
but
right?
I'm not going to. I'm on the other side of the corridor from
Good
it.
idea.
Right.
So that's
take a wide berth. Yeah.
I take a wide berth. I'm not just running up to the corner blindly.
Right.
You're probably catching up to Jorik. So this is limping slightly. His knees hurt.
He's a dummy.
Don't do hero landing. Don't do a hero landing.
I tried to be a hero.
You did.
Athletics said something else.
You did take less damage than you should have, but it's 50 foot.
It would have been fun just dying.
So
It always works in the movies.
Con, as you take your wide berth around the corner, you can see that there is this rather elderly-looking man standing there behind the two goons, and as you step around the corner, he shouts at you and he says, "I command you to sleep! You should be sleeping! Sleep, damn you! Sleep!"
At me or them?
And that's what he's shouting at you.
So if it's a sleep spell?
There's nothing else that accompanies that. He was just waiting for someone to come around the corner and he just shouted, "I command you to sleep." He looks about 70 years old or so, give or take. A decade or two. Anyway, so that's what he's shouting. And as he does that, the two goons kind of look from him back to you. And then they look back at him and they go, "Why is he not sleeping? You said you could
my
make
staff.
him sleep, you daft bint." And he's like, "I have made him sleep. He slumbers. Look." They all kind of look back at you and you're standing there.
I'm like leaning casually on my staff and I smile at them. And as I smile, my staff erupts in green flaming energy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You're such a show-off.
Saket, what are you doing? You
Well,
see
I'm
Con's staff
running-
starting to glow.
Oh, Sakete, I'm running the other direction. That corridor is going to melt down to glass.
I catch up with Con and I'm like, what's occurring?
Right, so yes, you have to double move to get to Con, so that's your action for the round, but you can see these two goons looking very perplexed, and this very chuffed-looking man, the stance that he's adopted. Give me an Arcana check, if you like.
He's filling his pants stance.
It's brown trousers time.
Yeah.
It's brown
That would
alert.
be 22.
22. You can see by the way that he's holding out his hands and the position that he's adopted, he was trying to cast Dominate Person, which is a really high-level spell. But you can also see by the fact that there's a little bit of whitening around the corners of his mouth that he's quite possibly dehydrated and completely delirious. But yes, that's the sort of the position that he's adopted. So yes, that's what you get from that. Right, so that's the cats. Adressai, you're with the guard, and I've sort of skipped you in the initiative because
That's fine.
he's locking down the portal, and he looks over at you and he's like, "Does he hit you as well? I mean, is that his management style? Because I always thought that."
Less talking, more locking.
Right. Yes.
The claws out.
When Adressai loses their temper, you know it's bad.
I just like,
Right.
come on.
Right. So
Take a look how it does, right? Like,
right. So there's 3 panels next to the elevator. The one you can see is the one that summons and closes it, and summons it and then lowers it. The other 2 he kind of touches in a very specific sequence. And
I'm
when
trying
he
to remember it.
yeah, it's easy enough. Not difficult for someone with your intelligence. As he touches the last one, the 3 light up and go to a very red color. And he's like, "Right, well, that's it. Sorry for the poor buggers down below, but that's it. Until I go through that sequence again, they're not going up. Like I said, no one's ever escaped from maximum security anyway."
it says meanwhile in the back, like people.
Right, exactly right. Right, back to the top of the
But
round.
do you have any kind of weapons right now?
Those would be in the armory with the warden. They're
Right.
Yeah.
Right, let's just go on. Let's go join the others.
He's really
He
dead.
had the stuff,
Let's
right?
go join the others. He's
He
very
had the
dead.
stuff. He was trying to shoot my face.
Correct. He's got
yeah,
his
that's
stuff.
right.
Yeah, he's not mentioning that for some unknown reason. I don't know why he's not mentioning that. It's like,
Join the others.
I don't know.
Nope, I have nothing.
I've got no weapons. I'm completely unarmed. Look, no arms. See, it's just. Right. So he's following you. Following along with you. All right, Jorik, what are you doing? You can see Con standing there, his staff wreathed in green energy and flame, and standing and sort of looking agape at him is this one half orc with his rather manky-looking metal pipe, and then just behind him is this human.
Well, I'm gonna adopt an age-old adage of hit the one in the dress and shoot the
Shoot the mage!
That's the thing. From where you are, you can't actually see the mage. So imagine that there's this corridor that the halfling was trying to lure you around that corner, and the mage is still at the back. He was he was supposed to be their grand finale. Yes.
He's going to have a grand finale.
Well, in that case, we simply let the dice. Bye.
Not this one.
Yeah.
Escape.
The orc's gonna get an arrow
Right.
To the knee?
to the knee.
They always aim for the knee.
Come on. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my
All right.
God.
They're going to have a bad time today, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so damage on that.
Boy.
Do I roll again
Yes.
to
Yes.
determine
No
the crit?
modifiers. Just roll a d20.
5.
5. So it's normal damage.
Normal damage.
Yeah.
All right, so.
So I'm just standing there grinning at him, and then this arrow plows through him.
Yes.
Wow, druids are really powerful.
That was me.
40 damage.
40
Yep, I did that.
with your psychic imagery. All right.
Yeah,
So he's
it's a
standing
psychic.
there. This was the half orc, you say?
Yes.
All right. So that slams into the half orc, and the one side of his head just explodes out over the human standing next to him. And the human kind of has this look of terror on their face.
You have two choices: die or go back to your cell.
No. My turn.
He's getting there. Yes, Blackston, you're next. No, Adressai, you're next. What are you doing now with Captain Benteen?
Sorry. I just generally want to catch up to the rest of them.
All right, so you running.
Once I do, what can I say?
All right. So you've still got to run down the length of the corridor, then you've got to go down the next sort of corridor. So yes, you're busy running. You see them sort of clustering and running towards the prison area. As you get around the corner, though, you do hear that another scream coming from the administration office, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what you're
But
hearing.
the administration offices is a different direction.
Yes, correct. So imagine that you're at a T junction. You're at the top of the T. Directly in front of you, you can see Con and Blackson
Oh, right, yeah.
and Oric and everybody. And then just down to your left is where that administration. You know that's the admin, that's the library, that's the kitchen area, and the medical area as well. That's what you're.
No, I think I want to go start heading towards the admin area and sort of have a look around that next corner.
I've got to come with you, obviously. Yes, this is having Benteen.
Yes.
All right, and we're going to the kitchens, are we?
What? Just be quiet and follow me and shoot at bad things.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. He says, clutching the lightning staff a little bit tighter to his chest. Blackson, what are you doing?
So how far away is this human, you say?
The human from you, he's another 30 feet.
Oh, well, that's too bad for him.
It is.
Because he's not going to get back into his jail cell, it seems.
Well, he's about to drop that stick because with Con and then the
25 to hit.
and then Halberd just out of nowhere.
Too slow.
Oh, yeah, that hits. Absolutely, that hits.
All right. So 9 points.
Got to think quickly around this one, otherwise you just die.
It's like
He's a prisoner.
Benteen nearly died. 9 points. All right, how do you kill him?
So as he's standing there looking at Con, you
I
just
step back a bit to avoid the
but
blood
just
splatter.
comes down and just like amputates both forearms. Just like shunk.
Oh.
He kind of steps back a few steps and then just collapses. He's not sure how to cradle his arms because he doesn't have any.
Right.
He's sort of rocking around.
He's a T-Rex.
Yes, blood sprays everywhere, Con, unfortunately.
The arteries in there.
The old man standing, he sort of sees those two collapse. They are nothing but my minions. Now I command you to witness the power of dragons. And he pushes his hands forward.
Please don't succeed. Out of accident.
I need Blackston, Con, and Doric. Because those were the three that were there. You hadn't yet got there.
Saket standing.
Saket was also with us.
She double moved to stand next to me.
Okay, all
But
four.
you are within 10 feet of me, right?
Yeah, I think everyone's within 10 feet of you. You're all kind of in that area. Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
All right, so would you all please give me dexterity saving throws? No, sorry, not dexterity, constitution save.
I just take the same roll, right?
Yeah,
please, because I rolled a natural 20 again.
So did I.
This is your day.
Very nice. I only got.
But what was it? Was it wisdom?
I got 21.
Constitution.
Constitution.
So that's a natural 20 and a 21.
Yeah,
in total.
21 for me.
So 25.
Yeah, 21 for me. I only have one.
But
25.
Yeah, because you're close to Blackstone.
strictly speaking, natural 20s don't apply to anything but
I'm
attack
just going
rolls,
to
right?
die behind.
Yeah.
Black.
No, 21.
And that doesn't even apply to skills. So yeah. I got a 19 on the con.
21.
Right. Well, you're all fine.
I think we're lucky to be.
Yes, as this blast of very dark energy bursts out of his hands and
I can do
splashes
it.
around you and onto the walls. And as it hits the walls, you see the walls start to sort of crack a little bit and crumble. And he drops it and he goes, "Now, what?"
We're just standing there.
We're just standing there, just like,
I hit him very hard.
Yeah, Con, you're up.
I hit him very hard in the head with my staff.
Right, make your attack.
Finally, we got the hero moment.
20 is the attack, a normal
That's
20.
That's it.
That
As the
is
smoke settles, he's just like.
max damage of 12.
Also, the best thing is, when the smoke is still there, the green flame from the staff would still kind of emanate and shine through.
Wow. Bah.
Nice.
Right. So yes, you smack him hard across the head. He cries out. You can see blood pooling up and spraying out at the side of his head, but he's still standing. And he says, "I have only just begun to show you my true power."
Oh, please, bring it on.
No, do go on. Quite curious at this point.
Saket.
Right.
As a doctor, do I notice that he's dehydrated at this point?
Yes. Most of the prisoners that you've had the very briefest of glances at before they've been stabbed, speared, or blown up have showed signs of slight dehydration.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Is he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to have to be Flaming Sphere. Oh yeah.
Flaming Sphere. All right.
Ooh.
Isn't Con in melee?
Yes.
Con is in melee. Yes.
Yes, you can put a sphere on the other side of him.
Away.
just
Fortunately, it doesn't
I'm
work like
coming
that.
in.
Duck.
Love to. Can't.
Well, good luck.
Right.
I'm
So,
not within 10 feet of me anymore.
Wait, what meta magic do I have? I also carefully cast Careful Spell.
Ah.
So.
And you exclude him, yeah, sure.
I exclude Jonathan, basically. Or he should automatically succeed on a saving throw. So, okay, with Careful Spell, I throw out the Flaming Sphere, which means he needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, now this is a curious thing. As you throw out flaming sphere at him, he looks at you and he goes, as if that was going to even impede the great, the wonderful Mozark. And the sphere kind of rolls towards him, and he's old. But somehow he gets an 18 for his save, so he just sort of steps aside as this great big ball of fire steps forward. And he's like, your petty sorceries are nothing in comparison to mine, witch. I will show you.
But he still takes half damage.
Yeah.
He's saying this while the back of him is on fire.
I got 9, so I don't know how you want to split.
All right.
That.
So.
You always go down.
Correct.
Okay,
9
well,
is 4, right? 16, right? Okay. So yes, he's sort of saying that as bits of him are smouldering and burning. He doesn't seem to notice too much. Right, back to the top of the round, Jorik.
So, by the way, Jono, you still take the damage, right?
Yes.
4 points.
4 points.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, because you
Even though I
automatically
cast-
saved, right?
Yeah, because
it's an automatic save,
on the
not-
save, but it still takes half damage.
Correct.
Yes.
Sorry.
He gets a save, not his.
I like these robes.
Not my robes, not my books. I know.
Just opens it, just fire comes out.
Right.
Jorik is starting to get a little bit spent, and this is a really old guy who's probably about to fall apart. So a normal arrow this time, and it was 16 to hit, I think. Yes, 16.
That's a hit. Do your damage.
Just a regular thing to the face.
Yes.
Twang.
It's not amazing. 8.
8 damage. All right.
That's pretty high for another shot.
Yeah. This
I
arrow
can do more.
slices across the back of him. He flinches. Bring forth your armies. I have slain more. As that happens, Adressai, they're busy walking down the corridor with Benteen kind of waddling behind you, going, running. It's really overrated. Right.
Silence.
You arrive at that door that leads into the atrium that will then lead into the rest of the admin offices. As you get to that door, though, you can see there's the other door that leads directly into the kitchens. And this man, dressed in prison uniform, so he looks like he's one of the guards, is thrown against the opposite wall out of that door. But he's thrown so hard that you hear his ribs cracking as he sort of splashes against it and then drops to a bloody mess on the ground, moaning quietly, whilst leaking quite badly. Ah, shit, says Benton.
Accurate.
Do I see anything else? Just the corridor sort of ahead?
Yeah, just the corridor ahead, which continues T-junctions again at the end, leading to the cells or to the infirmary.
Yes. God, I'm not a firepower person. I just sort of shush Benteen in front of me and just, you do it! What is the guard? I'll be right behind you. That's so good. It's gotta be useful for something.
Take the blow to the face at least.
Yes.
Oh.
Just
Wait,
go. I'm right behind you.
I thought we were going to the admin office. That's right here. We don't have to go down there. Here's the admin office. You want to go into the kitchen?
Go. No, just look inside the fucking kitchen. God, you turnip! Just go.
All right, there's this sort of shuffle inching sort of step until eventually he looks around the corner and he doesn't move.
Just shake him a little bit.
That causes you to realize that there's a puddle that's formed underneath his one trouser leg.
Oh,
he has quite. He as you sort of touch him, he flinches and screams and discharges this electric rod. You need to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Me?
Well, he just discharges. Oh my god! As you touch him.
I hate this person. Oh no! I always roll the fucking worst saving throws. 5.
By the way, Jenny, do you remember? He is the person who said, like, there will nobody ever this is our greatest.
Nobody. This is the best. Nothing will happen. Well, go on.
It's easy to say that. So what did you get?
5.
5. Right.
I always roll shit on saving throws. They shouldn't be surprised to anyone.
I think I had one good wisdom save some time back.
Yeah, in the book, the first time in the book.
Check your notes so you keep them so integrally.
Yes. Write them down in your notes so you can complain about statistics later.
Today, dear diary, today I wrote
Today I got lightning in the face.
Yeah, you take 31 damage.
How much did you say? 31.
31.
I am down.
Ow.
Get grilled.
Oh, I'm so... Oh, gosh.
So
that rule, by the way, I want to check something, because there's a rule here that I'm not entirely sure about. There's a rule about instant death if you take more damage than your maximum. Max. Yes.
Yeah, so if you have... So right now, so you would only die if your maximum would be 31. Yeah, no. And the excess of your currently, right? So if you have like 20 hit points and you were at 5 hit points, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I was on 12 and my max is 22. I just wanted to check what the rules are. No, I am down. I'm just like smoking, just flat on my back.
So how the
sticking out.
So how the rule works, you go to 0 and detract it from the damage you took, and then the excess you check against your max hit points.
Okay.
Yeah, if that exceeds your max hit points, then you're just toast.
Yeah.
So you're lucky.
I'm not quite toast.
So I see Tom and Jerry in front of me now.
Yes, pretty much.
They're somewhere else, right?
They're somewhere else. You don't see anything. What you also don't see, Adressai, but you will if you wake up, is that Benteen kind of looks down. He's like, I'm sorry. He steps to the other side of your corpse and gently pushes you into the doorway of the kitchen.
God!
And then turns and starts running.
I'm going.
You're unconscious at this point. You don't see that. But that is exactly...
I am going to sit here while I'm unconscious and come up with a list of things I'm going to continue to survive this.
If you survive.
Oh, you're going to laugh when I see him after the fact.
Like, I was going to close and lock the door. Just to keep whatever was in there.
Distracting whatever was in there. Blackston, what are you doing?
Go around the corner.
Right.
I was already at the corner, so yes. I go around the corner, see the stool.
Correct. Absolutely. It's wait, yes, you see the mage standing there with the thing. Correct.
All right.
Correct.
I mean, I saw him before because he was already casting the shit at me, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then I was already around the corner. So then I go up to him. Can I reach him?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem.
Right.
He's a couple of feet away.
So as he's cackling in glee.
Bye.
Splat.
20 to hit.
Yes, that's hit.
And 17 to hit. So the first attack does 8 points of slashing.
Right.
The second attack does 11 points of slashing.
Ow.
Is he still up?
He is.
Then he gets the back of the halberd for 15 to hit.
15 hits.
And on that, I'll blow a Divine Smite level 1 as well.
Jesus.
So that's another 7 plus 8. He's not undead, right? Or fiend?
No, he's not.
All right. So then that's another 15 points. 7 bludgeoning and 8 radiant.
Now he's dead. The butt kills him. How do you...
Okay. Slash. So what happens as he's cackling in glee, I just run at him again and just like, as he's cackling, I just like pierce his thigh.
Right.
And turn it, push out of the flesh,
right.
And just drive it up.
Ouch! Right. Well,
and then follow up with the butt.
And well, thematically, I wouldn't. I just describe it like this. And as the blade is starting to slow down, he's like, ugh! Still, his face is like deforming with like pain. I just like. The blade kind of lights up at that point, and that kind of finishes the rest as I cut off the neck.
Right. So yes, he topples over into your flaming sphere that's behind him, Saket, and just starts cooking. There is this interesting scent of bacon that starts to fill the air.
Hey, wake up!
Have any hair?
Bacon! What is that?
Okay, so here's the general question because I don't know exactly the lay of the land. So we went towards the prison kind of cell area, right?
Yes, you're back now in that big space.
Right. So where my head is, where I want to go next, possibly, is to the map room in the administration facility, where he had the live map of the entire facility.
Right.
Right, there's why I was going to go and wanted to take a look to search for, prisoner number 1, I guess, or well, not prisoner, but soon to be.
I mean, that's why I suggested securing the.
Right, I wanted to there too, but like I just went down the breadcrumbs here, right? So now the question is, do we need to double back, or can we kind of take another route, which would be quicker?
Literally, if you just go back one set of 30 feet, you can join that corridor that address I went down.
Okay. I didn't know exactly how it would be connected. Okay, so then I would kind of kill him, and I would kind of look up and say, like, the map room.
Where's Adressai?
She's with Benteen.
I'm in heaven now.
And I say the map room, and then I would go. I just would head very quickly because I'm in a rush.
Right. So you're sort of, where is Benteen and Adressai? As you turning around, Blackston, the 4 of you see Benteen coming to the end of the corridor, and he kind of looks down at you and he goes, "Oh, she needs your help. She's in trouble. I try to save her, but it's just too much."
I grab him and drag him with me because I don't know exactly what happened yet. So he's not dead yet.
You can see she's just down there, he says, pointing. Adressai, would you roll me a d20, please?
Yes.
So he says she's down there.
13.
Yeah, pointing towards administration.
So then I will actually do something else.
Right.
But I'll do this on the next turn.
All right.
13. Is that my first success?
Yes, that is your first success. 1 success before 3 failures. Right. Okay. Con, what are you doing?
Moving with the group.
All right, so you're kind of just going with the flow. So, Kat, are you following as well?
Presume I see Benteen
appear.
When I see
Captain Benteen saying,
yes, you do.
Your help, I'm like, no! And start running.
Oh.
Right, absolutely. And Jarek, you following as well, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I just snag one of the arrows, actually the only arrow that's still intact, and run after.
Right,
Did you regroup on your arrow
thing? When I flip round, I correct the guard and go, he! I'm sure it's a he! Not, I don't know.
What? Says Benteen as he's sort of being pushed along by Blackson.
Yeah, one arrow was psionically infused, so that probably exploded in his head.
Yeah.
The other one fell into the flaming sphere.
Yes.
Just one.
You see Adressai's body is lying in front of the doorway. You see it gets dragged into the room, which you know to be the kitchen canteen area. And then you hear a voice saying, "Kitty!"
Oh no!
Freddy!
Oh no!
Right?
Freddy?
I was friends with Freddy. We were going to play.
Yeah. Anyway.
He doesn't play like a kitty.
No. Jump, Kitty. Right. All right. So Blackson, you leading the charge with.
No. I would have slowed down.
Right. Yes. Okay.
I would have slowed down as soon as I saw her lying there. And this, what is looming over her? Or did I miss that?
Kind of saw. No, you just see this hand, this very big hand, just dragging her inside the chamber. She's about 40 feet away from you.
Okay, then I would stop, kind of turn and look to Benteen, and would just look at him and saying, "First gross negligence, and now a traitor. I hereby sentence you to death, and I will kill you."
Oh, damn!
Oh! Damn. All right.
So you want me to do the next roll against him?
Curses! He's so ineffective. He doesn't even know how to use the staff. I mean, that was... yeah, you can eviscerate him. You can sort of hit him twice and he's down, type of thing. Unless anyone's going to intervene.
I'm too busy casting a spell to notice.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jorg's too busy running up to Adressai.
All right. Okay. So yeah, you finish him off quite quickly. I mean,
there are two people in the world that Jorg cares about.
He's run out of chances, as far as I'm concerned. You should, if we didn't find him standing over Adressai's body, firing his staff off at the thing, then he's failed.
Exactly. This is the second time.
Yeah.
And
All right.
in the line of duty. I mean, you know what they do in the army when you kind of
Absolutely.
run away from the foe, right?
Dereliction of duty.
It was a
The
tactical,
medieval
commissars!
fantasy
it was a tactical retreat. Anyway, all right. So Bentina's dead.
Having
Right, that's my
rolled
turn,
the
though.
girl,
Right.
into the room,
All right, so you're all three of you are running up to the doorway to the kitchens, and Blackston, you're busy sort of dispatching.
Yeah, and then I grab the staff, and then I kind of turn.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Because I don't want any kind of straggler prisoners to then find these shitty weapons and then aim them at us.
Good.
No, I can take that.
Good.
I'm running
And
out of
Asai,
spells.
give me your second save, if you please.
Yes. 18.
18. Second life save. One away.
From
All right.
stabilizing, yeah.
Kitties have like
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah, they do. Let's see.
I think this is your second. You're down to 7 now, aren't you?
Yes.
You survived this.
So keep a note of that.
Right. So
Right.
the three of you initially, and then Blackson, you kind of come very shortly up behind. See that Freddy is sitting in the middle of the room, and there are maybe 6 prison guards. You think it's 6 because none of them have the right amount of legs or arms or heads. They've all been sort of ripped apart into various pieces, and he's kind of put them around himself in a circle, and he's sitting in the middle of the circle, and in his one massive hand, he's busy cradling the cat
Aww.
and is busy sort of stroking what sort of fur he can see.
So gently smoking.
Right. Yes, so he's busy stroking the cat as
Your face must look fabulous with the electricity just like bing!
Your tail.
This biggest tail.
Absolutely.
It's sort of crooked.
Like a puffball,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. So what are the 4 of you doing? He
I'm
doesn't
charging at this idiot.
doesn't seem to notice you as he's standing there sort of stroking the cat. All right, so Blackston's charging. The other 3?
Freddy, we need the cat back.
All right, so you're trying to talk to Freddy. Jorik, what are you trying to do?
And Jorik is dashing into the room, ready to fight whatever's in there, and he runs up against Freddy and sees the cat and just.
Yeah, that just kind of give one
Let go
pause
of the
for a
cat.
moment.
Doesn't seem to have paused Blackston. He's charging.
No, well, that's Blackston. That's why we love him.
Oh, good old Blacksy.
But the sword is drawn, what can I tell you?
All right, so you're charging in. Okay.
Jorik makes an
I'm-
attempt at telling him
but-
to drop the cat, but
Also, I am in fact using my action to cast haste on myself.
All right, so that's
Ooh.
fine. Everyone can act in this round. Freddy's completely oblivious. So Blackson, you get to make your attack. I'm just going to run through it without an order.
Right? That's why I get to him?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so 1.
He's huge,
2.
so he's easy to get to.
All right. So first attack, 22.
22 definitely is a hit.
Smite him, level 2.
Right.
That's 29 points. Is he undead? Is he a fiend?
He
As a flesh monster, is he undead?
No, he's not undead, and he's not a
Construct, isn't
fiend. Yeah, he is. I need you to give me your smite damage separately from your halberd
All
damage.
right. So 9 piercing and 20 radiant.
All right, so I was just going to do some maths here. All right, so
That's some serious smiting.
that is some serious damage. He howls out in pain. Why? As you
Next.
smack into him. Yeah, keep going.
Next attack, 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
Another 2nd level smite.
You can do it. You can do it.
It's 8 piercing,
Right.
19 radiant.
Oh God. Okay. Is that and this is kind of that. Right. Okay.
Third attack,
Cutting
butt
it,
of the weapon,
old flesh. Yeah.
is a crit.
Right.
of course it is.
16,
Why does he need us again?
16,
16 damage.
No. 16 on the crit thingy, so that's times 4, right?
4 times, yeah.
So since I'm out of second level smite, I use a first level smite.
Right.
So the weapon attack is times 4, so it's a d4s now. I need to take a look what I rolled on the first attack. So that's 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 2 is 13, plus 4 is 17 bludgeoning.
17 bludgeoning.
Right. And
Wow.
then comes a whole bunch of smite damage now.
Blackston smash?
Pretty much, yes.
So let me show I got this right here. Okay, so that's 13 radiant plus 8 radiant plus 14 radiant plus 15 radiant. So that's 29, 37.
Oh no, don't worry. Just give me the damage for the butt, because I've been keeping track of everything so far.
Yeah. So what was the bludgeoning?
17.
17.
That's
17 bludgeoning and 50 radiant.
That's for all 3 attacks.
No, that's for the last attack, for the crit.
Right.
It's like 130 damage altogether.
Yeah.
That's Blackston smash.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that's how much it is.
it's 90. It's 115 so far. But yes.
Yeah, I just
Oh, Freddy.
But that's
Don't
all.
hit the kitty.
Yeah, don't hit the kitty.
Right.
Kitty will be turned into
So
paste
how
if
bad
you do
does he
that.
look? Like before I describe what I do, I want to know how bad does he look.
Oh, he looks terrible. You've ripped open his.
Okay.
liver.
So what I do is, like, as he kind of holds and kind of does whatever he does with our dear friend and comrade and captain, and I'm not going to lose another captain here. I just jump on his leg and then just. Did you see Troy with Brad Pitt?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, he had like a stab move, like into
Right.
the torso. And that's what I'm doing with the helmet, and just like pulling, pushing. And I don't know if my helmet does anything else with it because I have it on. I don't know what magical effects this helmet has.
Nothing at the moment.
So I just put my halberd into his body and just like move it as much as I can, and just like push all my divine power into
Shovel.
Right.
this. As the divine energy kind of dissipates in this body, like certain parts of the flesh start to kind of glow, and the stitchings go loose and just like fall off.
Absolutely. Just
And-
this light.
And from the inside, just like this glow just like comes out. As then I pull it out and like jump behind him and kind of turn around for the next attack.
Right. Yes, so this sort of stitching is lit up. He's enraged, or will be when it's his turn. But everyone's still acting in the same round. So I'm just going to move across to Ket. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to fire off chromatic orb at the poor old thing, but I'm wondering if there's any point after what Blackston did. But I'm still going to fire it off for a bit of a laugh. So let's go for it.
Don't hit the cat.
I'm going to try and not... maybe I should do another castle.
Right. If you hit the catch, she's in problem. She takes lots of damage.
If she hit the catch, she
Wait,
automatically
how
fails.
big
Correct. She takes death
is
saves.
Freddy? Because if his hand is 5 foot, more than 5 foot away from his head,
It is.
well, there we go. We'll aim for his head.
To the face.
To the face with acid.
Right.
Okay. Here we go.
The gnomes are not the only people who can throw acid in this prison.
No.
I'll show you acid.
20
Exactly.
For the hit. Did I hit him?
Yes, you did.
Actually, let me do the math here.
Does he get a saving throw?
No, he just gets a ranged spell attack against him.
All right. Lovely.
And that's 10 damage. Not great, but it's acid damage in the face.
Acid damage in the face. Crikey. Okay. For 10 damage, right? Okay, perfect. It starts to bubble and boil away. And you can see that as the outer layers of flesh are burnt away, inside it looks more like this ancient blackened clay that's starting to crack and sizzle underneath the flesh. Jorik?
Well, my fellow captains seem to have this handled, so I'm going to try and see if I can nab Adresai.
He's busy. He's sort of clutched Adversai's. He started to take damage.
Clutching
Protecting the kitty.
Okay, fine.
You can try and grab hold of it and wrestle it from his fingers. He is distracted, but you're going to have to oppose his strength.
Good luck.
That doesn't sound like something's going to work with Jorik. He's no. Fine. I'm going to shoot his wrist. I'm going to shoot his wrist.
You're going to try and shoot his wrist. Okay, make your attack.
23 to hit.
That's a hit. It's quite a big target.
Yep. And can I just repeat that? That would be great. Give me a second. There we go. What the hell? Stop fighting me. Just roll the damn dice. 28 damage.
28 damage. Are you infusing it with something, I'm assuming?
Psionic, yes.
Okay, so you need to give me the difference. Give me the psionic versus the actual arrow damage.
The 6 damage piercing.
Right.
And
The rest.
22 psionic.
Yes.
All right.
And I am completely out of juice now.
I got one more left. One more.
Right. Con, this thing is being shot, blasted, acid poured on it. Just there's a lot of anger directed at this fleshy golem thing. What are you doing?
Beyond this point, what is there? Administration.
So to the left is admin, and to the right is the infirmary, and then you've got the levels above it, which is library, map room, etc., etc., etc. Well, not the map room. The map room is part of the administration office on your left.
Well, I kind of, this is all very busy. I'm not sure I can turn into an animal and attack.
No, the only thing that you might be concerned about is that the way that Adversai is kind of flopping around in his arms as he's sort of trying to raise to protect himself from pain, is you can see she is completely unconscious. And there's scorch marks all around her that seem to indicate that she's had an exceptional amount of electrical damage.
To the face, no less.
Right.
If it's my turn, I got
the good doctor's a bit stymied. He's going to try and get in there.
It's like, here's some pills. Take these.
He's hasted.
I got Adversai. If it's my turn again, she's
right. Yes, you're hasted.
I am hasted.
Right.
Yes, nice.
Carefully
nice.
put a band-aid on the forehead. Fine, walk it out.
And it zip out again. Right.
And I'm going to try and get in close and attempt to at least try and get her out of his grip.
All right, so you're running up to
them. If possible.
Right. Yeah, you're going to have to... Well, yes. So you're going to try and pull Adversai out of its hand?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what Jorik chose not to do, you're going to try and do? Absolutely. You go dashing up there. Would you give me an athletics check, if you please?
I've got a -1 modifier on strength. I am not doing anything strong.
Right.
14.
Oh, not bad.
Not bad at all. As a matter of fact, your 14 beats mine. So somehow you managed to grab Adversai's hand, which is incredibly limp at this moment, and you pull
Smoking.
all your might. And at that exact moment, there's an arrow that's burying itself into the creature. There's acid burning on its face. Its hand uncontrollably convulses, and you pull them free of the hand, and the two of you kind of stumble backwards. I'm assuming you're then going to move away.
Provoke.
Oh, well, that's...
Yes, well, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Definitely. It's sort of a case of, all blurry, hastified. I zip in there, grab a hold of them, and zip out again.
Zip out again.
You have 2 actions with your haste, right? So you can disengage.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. So I'm assuming that's what you're doing? Yeah? So it's not to get clobbered? Yeah, all right. Okay.
Exactly, yes.
So,
Grab Adversai and get clear.
Right, nice. Okay, and that's sort of everyone's actions whilst Freddy was unaware of what was going to happen.
He was hit by
Now he's
hell.
Now he's angry and
Initiative or what do you want?
Yes, now initiative from everybody, if you please.
Plus two,
Wait a
everyone.
minute. There's a last save from Adressai first.
Yes.
Make that
Yeah.
Adressai save.
15.
All right.
Nice.
These saves I'm having no problem with, apparently.
Apparently
I
not.
am stable.
I think there's many psychologists who would argue against that for the entire group. Right. So there's initiatives, please, for everybody.
21.
I am on 23.
Ouch. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 23 for Con.
21 for your Jorik.
21 for Jorik.
I get another 2. Does that stack with haste?
Mm-hmm. It's a different bonus. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a different bonus.
Is it a different bonus? Like, it depends on how it's worded, but
Well,
whatever. It
it's
doesn't matter
magical.
with it.
Yeah,
Mine is just the passive aura thingy.
Yeah, but
it's
So, was that a yes or a no?
we'll take
Sorry.
a look at it later. We don't need to figure it
yeah.
out.
At the moment, the enemy's initiative is 8. So whether you're going on 23 or 25, it's neither.
Then it doesn't matter. Then, yeah.
Blackston,
5.
5. Suket,
6. So I get to go just before Blackstone.
Adressai.
Oh, I didn't roll because I was unconscious. But,
Yeah.
He's just for an hour, right? So
Oh, it's for an hour. I'm assuming maybe
11.
11. All right, good. Right, fantastic. Okay, so this is what happens. Con, you get to go first. What are you doing?
I cast Cure Wounds on Adressai.
nice.
All right, absolutely. So
Sorry,
you
Mark.
adored. Adressai,
9.
yes. 9 hit points.
9 hit points.
as you're waking up, as this energy is just flowing through you and your organs are knitting together and everything is looking good, as that starts to happen, you're in this state where it's just before you wake up. So you have a visceral dream, and that visceral dream is there's an old woman, and you recognize her. She's someone that you think is you're very familiar with this old woman. You're not sure who she is or how, but she seems very familiar. And she's sitting amongst a pile of books. And she holds open this book and pushes it towards you. And when you look in the book, you can see very clearly written, and Adressai died. And then suddenly the book slams shut and everything recedes back from you, and you're in the arms of Con.
Oh,
Come on, Adressai, back to us, wake up.
where's Benteen? I need to kill him.
What?
is he?
What? Well, you're
It's
too
shot
late.
me in the
Blackston's already
face.
done that.
Jorik,
How many fingers?
What? Do you have fingers? I never noticed.
Yes.
Where is he? Good, me.
How many am I holding up? Sorry, just messing with you.
right.
2
Jorik,
feet.
what do you do?
Well, Adressai seems fine, so I keep turning the big giant into a pincushion.
All right, make your attack.
Attack. 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
I'm doing well today. And 12 damage. No. 10 damage.
Right. All right. That's you. Then Adressai, you're busy waking up this round. Once you're restored, you can act in that same turn, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost. I think
Right.
at the big bad thing.
Sure. Make your attack.
7 plus 6 is 13.
It's a hit. He's a big
Most of the
brute.
time, yeah.
Yes. 1d8. Where is my d8? There we go. 4 cold damage.
Right. You notice that the frost doesn't seem to do anything really.
No.
Right. Okay, so that's Adrasine. Then that brings us to the creature. The creature is just going to smack the thing that's been that caused it pain everywhere, inside it, outside it, around it.
Adrasine!
Not again!
Laxton gets smacked.
Sure, you can try. Absolutely.
Yes, he can try. He can try indeed. And I get an armor class of 23.
That's it.
That's it. That's the first attack.
That's not bad for a big guy.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a
Big
bonus.
hands.
And then a natural 1. And the natural 1 is followed up by a 6. So he fumbles his attack, and he gives Blackson an attack of opportunity.
Oh, interesting. I'll take it.
Yeah.
19 to hit, or is it like a 20 whatever?
Yeah.
Freddy has bad day.
Pretty. Well, except that I've just rolled maximum damage, so maybe not. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, 3 attacks. Okay.
No, he has 2 attacks. The first attack hits you with that 23. The second one missed.
I see now.
Yeah.
I see what he did.
Yeah. So the maximum damage that you could take was 20, and he did 20 damage to you. I rolled 2.
Take it.
Yeah. All right. And your return damage?
My return damage hit with 19 plus whatever.
Yes.
It's like a...
Yeah.
And I did 8 points of piercing.
Right. Okay. Perfect. You can see now that the stitching is just giving way everywhere. He's struggling to sort of maintain his shape.
All of hit points. Wow.
Saket?
Right. Okay, so he's falling to bits. Okay. Let's burn it with fire.
He was afraid of fire, right?
He was.
All right,
yes.
that's your solution,
Fire
Toby.
bad.
Salute with fire.
Yep.
Exactly.
So.
To be sure.
You're fulfilling his bad prophecy here.
Yeah,
You're going to kill him with fire.
Sometimes that's what happens in life.
Maybe he's
that we don't
just psychic.
say. Things happen that we
Yes.
warned about. Hang on. Yes, let's go for chromatic orb again. I don't know how many times I can do that in a day. But... Ooh, that's a goodie. 21 for the hit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to aim for the face. Ooh, that's quite nice. So that's 9 plus 6. That makes 15 damage.
Ow.
15 damage. Right. Okay. Well, he against his head, you say.
Yeah.
Well, the flame just melts that horrid face that he had anyway, as it wreathes around the back of his head. His ears, you can see, just sort of burn away as the flame gets hotter and hotter. And then the entire head just explodes.
Nice.
Bits of dried flesh and black clay kind of lump around, and the body just drops down to its knees and then collapses forward, kind of causing the scurrying away to get out of its collapsed radius.
I did
And
that.
for a moment, there is a amount of quiet that settles over the prison cell, but just for a moment. And then you start hearing shouting coming from the administration space. But we will find out what happens there next week, as we have come to the end of our
So
session.
he's down?
He is down. Yes, indeed, he is down.
Ooh.
Right. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you don't stay for the review afterwards, we'll catch you again next week as the adventures of the Windswift continue. Those of you that do stay for the review, we're going to kick it off straight away. Roll the dice of destiny. And that's number 1. That's con. So basically, I'm just going to hit and kill everything episode, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to maintain the sort of doctor's perspective on the whole thing in terms of my first approach is that these people were not sentenced to death, they're in prison. But, you know, since they're not really cooperating, we don't have the time. If they die, they die.
I believe cooperation does sometimes require the ability to actually surrender.
Well, yeah, I do offer the option of surrender. It's unfortunately, you know, if they don't think fast enough to avoid a Blackstone, then that's their problem. You know, you have to be quick about these things. You know, throw your weapons on the floor and prostrate yourself, and you might survive.
I believe that the one individual was in the process of trying to drop his weapon when a halberd suddenly arrived.
He was too slow.
He then dropped the weapon.
He did drop the weapon afterwards. Yes, you're quite right. All right, absolutely.
When you've got a party fighting a big monster, it can sort of devolve into everyone sort of standing in a circle around it and hitting
just
it.
melee it.
I kind of wanted to avoid that, so that's why I chose to sort of try and do what I did.
Right.
Yeah, same here, actually. That was
Absolutely.
my idea as well. But
and
no.
also because, frankly, you know, party division of labor, some people are much better at doing massive damage than I am.
Right.
So, you know, I think
you
play
have
to your
fire.
strengths.
Correct.
Also, you know, I do know about the flesh golem mechanics because I've looked at them recently for other purposes.
I do too.
So it was kind of trying not to shout out things like it's immune to that and it's immune to that.
I know it as a player, obviously, right? But
So separating that meta knowledge was fun.
Of course.
But yeah, interesting. Went very quickly this session. But Con is also in a weird headspace right now because dragons.
Because
our gods.
Right. Absolutely. Adversary?
Yes.
Is this the first time that you've been at 0?
Nope.
No, I think
You're a couple of
second. Yes.
Stone
No, I
forest.
went down to 0 when I cut up my feet in that deforest.
That's right. That mysterious missing episode. Don't remind me. Let's
Yes.
move on quickly.
Sorry.
Yes.
The D forest.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Yeah. What did you think? What's going on?
It was a lot of fun. I'm kind of wondering if I'd been nicer to Benteen if he wouldn't have abandoned me to die, but probably he would have anyway. But he might not have shoved me into the kitchen.
Right.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I am the squishiest person in the party, and I'm rushing in to investigate things while the others are fighting, and I'm like, I know this is not a great idea,
Right.
but still, it's a question of scouting, and it's a question of my character is still trained to do this kind of thing, and my character would, if they were alone, would have gone that way and tried to figure out what was going on. So at some point you when you play, especially when you play in front of an audience, you have to drop the whole perfect group cohesion tactics and just go for what makes sense for the character in that situation.
Right, absolutely. I think without a doubt. Some interesting.
And then you get lightning in the face.
And then you get lightning. Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Your friend.
from the coward. There's a reason why he was assigned here when he graduated from the academy.
I thought
It was annoying. Put him in
I do feel sorry for all those guards shooting that golem with electric rods.
Oh yes,
Right, absolutely. It restores.
it's bad time.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, right? Wasn't it? All right. So Ket, what are you were sort of magicking and firing and that sort of thing.
Firing. Whoa.
Yeah.
Let's get to the beginning of the episode there, where we've got these other things happening now as well. What do you make of the Archon story?
Well, I'm not really sure what to make of that. I mean, that's obviously a typical hostage situation on some levels, but the Grafe are involved. And we've got dragons in the prison. So I have a feeling, actually, the two may be linked. But I don't know. That could just be me going into overdrive with the thinking.
Right.
What else? I don't know. It was one of those very fast-moving sessions when quite a lot happened, and I've got quite a lot of questions that I need to answer now. But I don't. Yeah, it's
something on the back burner. It's right. It's not a golem in the face, right?
But we've got to sort out the golem, and then we're going to come back to the dragons.
We've got a long list of stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
might have to rescue the chef because he did collect all those spaghetti recipes for me.
That's the only reason.
This is why you were saved, right?
But you
Blackston.
can cook for me.
Yeah, a lot of things happened.
There's a lot of things, right?
was kind of surprising that I was really surprised that he got an Archon. Like, that is something that I didn't see coming, and I think is ludicrous. I don't know how this shit happens all the time, but whatever.
Just get used to the fact that the Order are imbeciles.
Yes, I guess, which might make the future a little bit easier, actually. Then that happened. Bantine. I was about to murder him on the spot in the elevator.
Yes.
For abandoning his post or gross negligence or take your pick.
Right.
But still needed him for some information. And then when I basically saw him leaving a friend, a comrade, an ally in need.
Right.
That's a pretty clear-cut case.
Yes.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, once you're a coward, you're always a coward, right? So,
but yes, but
yes, it was abandonment in multiple levels. Absolutely.
So at that point, yes, I absolutely I agree with Jono there. Absolutely, that metagaming is. I don't think my character necessarily would know the intricacies of golem workings and what the difference between an iron and a flesh golem is. I'm a dungeon master. I played this game for 20 years. Yeah, I know it, but like,
absolutely.
First and foremost in his mind was, oh shit, there's a fellow captain in need to save now, right? In the next turn, I would have tried to help Adversary. Obviously, luckily, Con was there to do it before.
Absolutely.
So that was good. Looking forward to next session because there's something that I want to do.
Right.
I won't spoil that right now. As for Blackson's mindset, yeah, he is done with this place.
He really is done with the prison. He's done with the order. It's like it's just done. Absolutely, lovely space.
Because wherever he goes, there's betrayal or incompetence or both.
Right.
And even the people that are supposed to help him, like not only the incompetent ones that were here, also the ones that should know better, are like not telling the entirety of the truth and not really giving the support that they should. And he at this point is like, he's a man on a mission. And let's see where this leads us, because this could be something that also the party might not like, depending on where this goes.
I don't know. I think it's a pretty united voice in terms of the incompetence factor. Jorik,
well, yes. I was actually, last word here, I was actually fairly surprised because I wanted to get everybody's kind of feeling, kind of temperature, when the next thing came with the Archon. Like, is this something we really want to do? Because Blackstone is not having it. He's not going to save this Archon.
Right. Well, let's see. Jorik?
Oh, it was good to get to kill some things. Jorik is not in a good mood. I mean, first being locked inside this horrible prison and then running into someone snarky, smiling asshole who knows his sister and is trying to hold Jorik some way.
Yes.
By just being this smiley asshole. And Jorik is like, I'll deal with you later.
Right.
I have more important things to do now.
It's lucky that you're very busy right now.
Yes, exactly.
I will kill you later.
I don't believe in torture, but I will pick you apart.
Wow.
My sister scruple.
That's it.
No, we can find people who believe in torture on this show.
It's not going to be hard.
As for the episode, I mean, all this... Jorik is in the same mindset as Blackston on that. Jorik is a very, logical kind of person most of the time when he's not going bonkers. But when he's thinking through things, it's like logical. So in this case, dragons are obviously the first most priority. There's just this little problem of the prison. We can't let them escape. So priority 1 is the dragons. So we kind of had to go for priority 0 here. The Archon is like priority 11. Not our problem. The Order can deal with that. That's not our problem. If they want the pop, they can go get him as soon as we fix the prison. So he's definitely with Blackstone. Just fuck the Archon. We have more important things to do.
Well, all right, there we go. That's it. What do you guys think? Where would you prioritize? What would you prioritize? Maybe they've completely missed something as well. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all again next week when the Adventures of the Windswift continues.